Yes. Good evening and welcome to Libertyville High School for tonight's Week 2 action between the Libertyville Wildcats and the Oaklawn Richard Bulldogs. It's great to have you here tonight. I'm Chris Davis filling in for Kevin O'Neill up in the box. I'm here joined by the LHS godfather himself, Coach Dale Eggert, making his return to Cat TV from, Coach E, you said back in 2012 was your last time.
Last year, yep.
There we go. So the first time back in a decade, we've got Coach E back in the booth filling in for Kevin O'Neill and Bill Mix tonight. So we're happy to be here with you. Really excited for a great night of football here at the Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. We just finished up our senior night activities, recognizing our senior football players, dance team, and our senior cheerleaders. So we had a great celebration of our senior athletes in those sports here tonight, Coach E. Now we're ready to get things to rock and roll. I know last week the Wildcats started out the season hot with a 22-13 victory over Lamont here at Libertyville High School. LHS quarterback Quinn Shambo threw 3 touchdown passes, 1 each going to Stephen Gavrick, Blaze LaVista, and Luka Nikolic, all in the first half to lead the Wildcats in scoring. Shambo finished the game completing 17 of 21 passes for 221 yards. Defensively, it looked a little shaky there for the Cats at the beginning, but the Cats buckled down after giving up a long touchdown run, first play of the game, to hold Lamont to only 7 points for the remainder of the contest. The Cats were led defensively by Hayden Kuntz, who registered 11 tackles. He had 5 solo tackles, 6 assists. Mason Strader chipped in with 8 tackles and an interception. Caleb Basic had 6 tackles and a sack. And then Charlie Clark added a fumble recovery, and Blaze LaVista gets some time there on the defense with Coach Budge, also recorded an interception. So the Cats came out to a hot start last night, Coach E. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those Richard Bulldogs?
Well, I got to say that last week was probably not a very good indicator of a typical Richards Bulldog team. They wound up losing 42-0 to Morgan Park, who I've heard has several Division I athletes and is extremely well coached. But Richards has been a great program for so many years. And they've made the playoffs every year under coach Tony Sheehan. He has coached for 15 years. The first year they didn't make the playoffs. They've made the playoffs every other year with the exception of the COVID year. And took second in the state under Coach Sheehan in 2013. In fact, 3 years ago, they won 2 playoff games and then lost to East St. Louis. The next year, they won 1 playoff game and then lost to East St. Louis. And then last year, unfortunately, they drew them first round and lost East St. Louis 3 years in a row. But that's really not a very good indicator of what kind of team you have when you're losing to that really powerhouse, nationally ranked program, actually. Richards typically has a really solid team.
So as we turn the attention now back to the Cats tonight, we'll go through the offensive starters here for the Wildcats. As we talked about before, Quinn Shambo is kind of pacing the show there for the Cats. The junior signal caller started last year as a sophomore for the Cats, and he's the guy back behind center who kind of gets things going for Coach Shack and the Wildcats offense. In the backfield, he's joined by Demarion Baker, number 30. You'll see DB back there at that tailback position. Fullback-wise, we go into number 8, Boyd Hunt. At the tight end, the Y position is Josh Holst. Leading off the O-line at left tackle is sophomore Miles Bateski. He'll be joined by Owen McGrory, Jake Richter, Rhett Van Boeing, and Andrew Johnson. At the receivers at the skill position for the Wildcats, the Cats feature Blaze LaVista, Luka Nikolic, Stephen Gavrick, and Sam Seth. So a whole host of Wildcats. That skill positions for the Wildcats was on full display last week in that first half and across the whole game against Lamont. Cats really started out strong offensively, and we'll look to continue that here tonight as we go to Richards. As we look to the offensive keys of the game for the Wildcats that Coach Shack shared with us, you know, that's Coach E, it's kind of funny. Everybody thinks that the keys of the game change each game, but the keys normally stay the same because no matter who the opponent is, you kind of got to do the same stuff to kind of have a successful football team. So if Coach Shack's keys of the game for us this week, you might seem familiar if you tuned into the broadcast last week. We kick it off with protecting the football. The Cats definitely need to make sure that they take care of the rock and cannot afford to give Richards some turnover and to build momentum. Coach E, like you were saying, that Week 1 matchup for Richards against Morgan Park probably is not that indicative of the actual team Richards had. That Morgan Park team is a real powerhouse. They're playing down at Mount Carmel this weekend here for week 2 and kind of a showdown down there as they have multiple Division I prospects on that team. The second key to the game then just comes down to the Cats of executing. Just taking care of the fundamentals, taking care, worrying about themselves, not necessarily worrying about the opponent, just executing their assignments to the best of their ability and staying in present moment focus to be able to execute their specific jobs right across the board and keep churning out first downs. And then the last key to the game for the offensively for the Cats is staying calm and confident in the face of adversity. So that's one of the things that I know Coach Shack, Coach Budge, Coach Jones always preach with, and the rest of the coaching staff too always talk about, is being able to keep your composure, because regardless of any type of football game, everything's not going to always go your way. As Mr. Woods, our athletic director, likes to say, the opponent does get a vote sometimes in how things go down out on the field in any competition. So it'd be important for the Cats to keep that composure like they did last week in that victory against Lamont. Shifting over to the defensive side of the ball with Coach Budge and the Wildcats defense, the defensive starters for the Cats up on the defensive line, Owen McGrory, Jake Richter, and Rhett Van Boning. Those names seem kind of familiar from the offensive line. We have a lot of two-way linemen here at Libertyville for this year, so those guys are getting double duty, along with a host of Wildcats who will rotate in up front for Coach Saunders on the defensive line. At the linebacker position, you've got Charlie Clark, Eric Waldroff, who rotate with Jack Trudelar. Eric and Jack are both sophomores at that inside linebacker position. They're joined at the outside linebacker position by Caleb Basic and Boyd Hunt. And then in the defensive backfield for Coach Schrader and the DBs is Mason Marabella, Mason Strader, Hayden Kuntz, Luca DiCarlo. They're also joined in by Will Carney and Tommy Bunick, who will see time rotating in the defensive backfield. So those are your defensive starters for the Cats. And we'll turn our attention here as we're getting ready. The time is winding down on the clock to feature the greatest band in the land for those defensive keys of the game. And the first one I know is one that's really important for Coach Budge. One of those big measurables that they have on that defensive goal board each week is not giving up big plays. And the way the Cats define a big play is a run over 15 yards and a pass over 20 yards. And especially in high school football, limiting those big plays is huge. It's important on any type of football. You watch football coming up, starting up on Thursday, as the NFL season kicks off for college this weekend. Generally, the team that's able to limit big plays and the team that's able to generate big plays is the one that ends up more often than not being the one that's successful at the end of the day on the scoreboard. Second key to the game then for the Cats is to be able to create turnovers. Really, the Cats did a great job of it last week. We mentioned those interceptions by LaVista and by Strader last week. The fumble recovery by Charlie Clark really came at key times too, Coach E, as the Lamont was down in the red zone. A couple of those picks, I think both of the interceptions came down in the red zone for Lamont last week. And then that fumble came late in the game, really kind of sealed it up for the Cats there as we were working through the second half. And then
one thing I was going to say about the interceptions, yes, it was Strader and Blaze LaVista that got the interceptions, but you got to give some credit to that rush, because it was almost like the Lamont quarterback was throwing it up for grabs. The pressure on him was huge, and I know they're going to expect that again.
It's a great point, Coach E. That definitely those big guys up front were getting it done, like you said, making that Lamont quarterback uncomfortable for a good chunk of the night. That next key to the game then from Coach Budge and the defense is the next play mentality, kind of similar to that offensive key of the game of being calm in the face of adversity. And we finish up those defensive keys of the game for Coach Budge and the Wildcats defense about doing your individual job well, about focusing on your keys, having great eye discipline, and just executing your job. So
what I was saying, Coach, was the third key for the offense was calm and confident in the face of adversity, and you got to hand it to the defensive unit, because you had explained that on the first play of the game, we kick it out of the end zone. Lamont takes it from their 20. It's an off-tackle play. The running back stopped his feet, and the next thing you know, he's bursting through for 80 more yards. That could be a real downer, but I don't think the Cats could have responded any better.
No, I agree with you, Coach E. That was a great testament of the grit there displayed by the Wildcats to get off. Like you said, it's really easy, especially that first game of the year. Everybody's really hyped up. It was a great atmosphere here last week, kind of a packed house here at the Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. And to have that kind of be the start, I know it wasn't the start the Cats were looking for, but they did do a great job of responding to that adversity and really buckling down. Like you said, after that big play, Lamont only put 7 more points up on the board for the rest of the game. So Coach Budge and the defense really kind of buckled down and was able to get the Lamont attack under control. Hopefully,
yeah, and that was
kind of
a broken play too. They had a lot of trouble driving on us because eventually the defensive pressure would get them, and that's when the turnovers would happen. So we got to stop those big plays, and I think we can prevent anyone from driving.
And I think that'll be a key tonight too for Richards. Richards very explosive offensively. I know that when talking with Coach Budge, that's one of the things they focused on this week is being able to contain that explosive Richards offense, even though they might not have shown it on the scoreboard last week. So at this point, we're going to turn it back over to the action on the field here for our national anthem, led off by the best band in the land, the LHS Marching Band. We will join you back once the band is finished here for the kickoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the 2023 Marching Wildcats under the direction of Junior Drum Major Jessica Hedlund. We welcome our visitors, the Richards High School Bulldogs. Now please rise, remove your hats and join in singing our national anthem, conducted by LHS Bands Director and Fine Arts Supervisor, Dustin Helving.
All right, and that was the greatest band in the land, the Marching Wildcats, under the direction of Mr. Dustin Helvey, Mr. Matt Cartson, and Mr. Adam Gore. Coach E, I had a question that was asked, and I know you're the guy for the answer. Can you explain to us who is Walter R. Johnson?
I can. He came here as a principal in 1961 and became the superintendent in 1964. And then I believe he retired in 1980. And he wasn't just a superintendent, he was a fan. He was at everything. You pick a sport, he was there. I guess just the fact that you couldn't find a better athletic supporter, that's why they named the stadium after him.
I know that's a question that gets brought up a lot as the Cats take the field here, and the Cats running on over to give the student section a quick high five before we get ready for kickoff. One of the questions people ask all the time of the field here, the complex name, Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. I know we reference a lot here on the CAD TV broadcast. I think it's something not a lot of folks know, that is the actual name of the stadium here at LHS here on campus.
Yep.
As we get ready for tonight's game here, we've talked about those keys of the game here for the Cats. And as we get ready to start, I know one of the things that Coach Jones was really happy about coming out was the kicker, number 18, Ben Ratner. I know in high school football, when that ball goes right in the end zone, right for that automatic touchback, and getting the team right back out, that's a huge weapon, not being able to allow a return. A lot of times, special teams wise, I know there's a lot of work that's done on that open field tackling when it comes to special teams. It's a great skill to be able to continually to work on throughout the year, because it does make the difference in a lot of games, is that open field tackling special team wise. So being able to put the ball in the end zone, a huge plus here for the Cats as we get ready to start here for tonight.
I think Richards might not have the special teams that we normally see. I was watching their punter in pregame, and he was really struggling, and the coach is talking to him about the drops and everything, and it wasn't going well. So they're probably going to go for it on fourth down if they're halfway close.
Yep, and that's never a good thing when you're getting that type of coaching prior to the game.
Right. Working
on that in your pregame warm-ups here. So it looks like we're getting ready here to take the field. It's a great night here at Libertyville High School. Packed house here for the Cats. Great shot here from our CAT TV crew of the stands. Wonderful turnout. Had a great turnout here last week. And as we were just talking about, number 18, Ben Ratner, is getting the ball down on the tee for the Cats. He'll get this one in play, and we will be ready to get started. We'll see if we'll get some numbers here back on the deep men here from Richards. It looks like number 3, Jeremiah Washington, back deep, and I can't quite make out the number here on the far side of the field, but we'll get that. Number 5, Hayden Coots for the Cats, is starting to get the crowd pumped up, ready to go. And everybody's up on their feet for the kickoff. Ratner gets the ball in the air, whistle blown. Ball's up, big booming kick. Right back down to the 2 from Washington. Breakdown here to the attack. Nice tackle there from the Cats by number 12, Tommy Bunick. Great open field tackle there, just as we were talking. I promise it wasn't scripted. We're not that good to be able to get that, all that talk about special teams and that open field tackling. But a great job there on the special teams for the Cats. Coach Schrader on that kickoff team, I know, has got to be really happy right now as we get ready for the Cats defense to take the field.
Yeah, Tommy had snuck around that wedge. They did set up a pretty nice wedge. If Tommy hadn't gotten him, it would have been interesting how our wedge busters would have met their blockers head on. But you have to have an outside guy in the wedge to watch the guy sneaking around the corner.
So, Coach E, here for the Richards Bulldogs, we're going to see a spread option attack here. Number 2, Dejon Newman is the quarterback for Richards. Had a big game last week, pulling the ball on the run off of kind of a zone read keeper. So that'd be something to keep an eye on, Cats. And it's a reverse here from Richards. Newman takes the handoff to the left and then flips it to Sean Reynolds, who was his big play target last week. That was kind of the most of the offense for Richards came from that connection between Newman and Reynolds. So that'll be something to keep the Cats, an eye on for the Cats here on that gain of 7. Richards.
There was some open area there, but Mason Strader, when he finally read it, came over and made a really solid hit.
Number 5, Miles Mitchell in motion. Mitchell takes the catch, and gets that bubble screen, the little swing screen right out for a nice little 6-7 yard gain, and that's a first down for the Bulldogs. You know, Coach E, I was able to see a little bit of that film from the huddle account there on the trade with the Richards team, and this is a much different Richards attack. A little bit more pace here that we saw maybe from last week, and it'll be a good test here for Coach Budge and the Cats as we get ready to go and get started into this game.
Nice tackle by Mason Mirabelle out there in the cornerback by himself.
Motion sprint out here for Robinson, and just misses his receiver there on a little corner route. That's number 10, A.G. Paulecki. there for the Cats, and it'll put that, or I'm sorry, for the Bulldogs, and it'll put Richards in here in a second and long situation.
They're going to come back to that one because they got our cornerback to bite on a short guy, and a safety didn't get over for the deep flag or corner route, whatever you call it right now, and just didn't connect, but that route was open. You'll see that again.
2 receivers stacked into the boundary here for Richards. Tight end H back to the field. It's an inside handoff for the Bulldogs, and he's met there by a host of Wildcats. A lot of black jerseys in there on that. See number 23, Caleb Basic, getting off the pile, trying to get the rest of the big defensive linemen there up front. Looked like number 50, Owen McGrory, too, getting back up in there. 64, Rhett Van Boning. 73, Jake Richter. Big guys up front did a nice job stuffing up that run, getting Richards into a 3rd and long.
So it looks like we've got a 3rd down package going out because the big guys, Richter and Van Boning, both came off. We got a little quicker rush going on.
Again, Richards splits 2 into the boundary here. Oh, and the Cats jumped off sides. So that'll bring it down to a 3rd and manageable. I think, Coach E, that's going to be one of the keys for Richards here tonight. I don't necessarily know if they feel very comfortable being in 3rd and long.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Being in that 3rd and long situation where the run necessarily isn't a threat. I know from watching the tape last week, having Newman out on the edge was one of the big keys to their attack last week. There's the fake on the handoff. Ball comes out quick, but a great tackle there by the Cats. Mason Strader there does a great job on the tackle of A.J. Palecki to make it down to just 4th and 2. And we'll see what now, like you were saying, Coach E, here's this first big decision here for Richards. It looks like the punt team is coming out.
Unless that's a backup punter, I don't know if I'd do this, but we'll see. It does look like it's a different guy going in there. Okay.
That was a great tackle there by Strader in open space to get the ball carrier down before he got to the sticks. And now we'll send 2 back here for the Cats. The punt looks like number 5, Hayden Kuntz, and number 4, Blaze LaVista are back deep for the Wildcats, and the punt's back away. Looks like we'll have a little bit of a poison call to get everybody back away. And the Cats are going to take over for the first possession of the night on the 37-yard line. Coachy, what are you looking for from the Cats offense here on this first drive of the game?
Well, obviously we like a running game, but everything to me is about our passing game. Oh my gosh, Shambo is just throwing darts last week. 17 for 21, 3 touchdown passes. He was finding, and he uses them all. I mean, you know, I really didn't have the numbers down pat. I had to look at it was changing every pass.
Right.
He has 4 really good receivers. You mentioned him in the pregame, and he hit every one of them. He was rotating.
It's really impressive, too. I know from watching Quinn compete on the baseball field as the catcher for Coach Thompson and the Cats last spring, you being able to get that ball out quick, you can definitely see the correlation between two as a great 2-sport athlete. Number 6, Sam Seth's in here to motion. Shambo gets it out quick here to Sam Seth. Picks up block. Oh, just isn't able to keep his feet there. It looks like the Cats had a little something set up, a little similar to what Richard started out the game there. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out as well. And the Cats are going to get here to 2nd and long.
You know, the other thing that really impressed me last week, you know, I said we really didn't our running game was not stellar. Our passing game was outstanding. But Shambo, on several occasions, pulled that ball up, and he was not a runner last year, but he's a runner this year.
Yeah, Coach E, like you said, Quinn had just enough presence there to convert some big drives. There's a handoff there to number 4, Blaze LaVista. Blaze cuts back and gets a nice gain there. Picks up about 4 or 5 to get us back into that 3rd and manageable. Let's call it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 here as the officials are adjusting it a little bit from the Cats' own 41. So that's a good run there from the Cats. To be able to pick up 5-6 yards, get it back to that 3rd and manageable situation, kind of opens up the whole playbook here for Coach Shack and the offensive coaching staff.
You know, think about LaVista. What we really want him to do is we want him in some open space. He is incredibly fast. He had to do a lot of darting that time to get the yards that he got. It was a very nice trap, but Richards closed well, but looked to get LaVista in some open space.
Cats getting lined up here with 3 to the top of the screen at the top of the field. Shambo back to pass out the face from DB, and there Quinn goes, taking off. Great run there from Shambo. Breaks a couple tackles. He's out for the first down for the Wildcats. Coach E, just like you just said, Quinn did a lot last week with his legs of continuing drives. Didn't have much there. Felt the rush as we see here coming up on the replay and was able to take off. We'll see back here as our wonderful Cat TV crew gets the replay. Quinn feels that rush, steps up, breaks a couple arm tackles there. Quick handoff here. Shambo's back to pass for Luka Nikolic, and it looked like there was a little bit of holding going on down there. A couple flags back on the field. So we'll get a chance to check in here with our officials.
He's shrugging his shoulders. He's not saying, I can't believe you call it. He's saying, I had to grab him or he's going to get a touchdown on me.
Yeah, there's sometimes where it's more beneficial to take the penalty.
Pass interference. Defense.
But it's only
15-yard penalty. First down.
It's only 15 yards in high school. In the pros, it would be on the spot. So, yeah, it hurts, but not as much as a deep reception.
And as we saw there, the Cats starting to build a little momentum here, using that quick strike offense to kind of get going, keep building that momentum. Cats get up to line here quick in an empty backfield. 3 split out wide to the top of the screen, 2 down here to the left. Shambo back under center, looks to throw quick. There's LaVista out in space, Coach E. And there's another first down. Good blocking there from the offensive line from the big mules up front to give Quinn time. Got the ball out quick. Nice 12-yard pickup. The Cats are back in business as they enter into the scoring zone here.
Very nice read because that guy's normally not open. The third receiver to the inside is normally not open, but he was, and he got the ball right away.
Handoff here to LaVista, a little bit of bobble. Looks like we have a flag on the play. Blaze did a nice job of corralling that snap and get it in for a 4-yard run, but we'll see, it looks like the flag's in the vicinity of holding, so we'll see what we've got here from our officiating crew.
You know, even with the bobble, that was so much space to run that you got to believe the timing was a little off because of the bobble.
First down.
But you would have thought someone would have showed up right away, and I think the guy that would have showed up is the guy that got held.
Oh, sorry.
So the penalty, the hold against Libertyville, moved the ball back to the 29 here. We'll replay first down for 1st and 19 here for the Cats. 3 receivers split out wide to the bottom of the screen. Shambo taking the long count, looking back over here to the sideline as the Cats come back and adjust. And like you said, Coach, it'll be interesting to see how the Richards defense adjusts here to this Cats attack as the game goes on. Shambo back to pace. He's got a wide open Sam Seth, who's able to get both feet in down for the catch and convert that first down to give us 1st and goal here for the Cats. Great job by Sam there from his inside receiver spot, getting out wide. Good throw, good catch, good blocking up front by those big mules, and the Cats are back in business.
They're going to have some pass reception discussion tomorrow in films for Richards because 2 guys went on the slant and nobody went on the wheel.
So 3 receivers in here to the bottom of the screen, 1 split out back wide to the top. Handoff to number 4, LaVista. LaVista cuts back through. He's in, it looks like, waiting for the signals for the officials, and there it is. There's the touchdown. So that run, number 4, Blaze LaVista punches it in for the Cats to punctuate that first drive, put the Cats up here 6-0. And I know we mentioned it about 14 times last week, Coach Eggert, in the first half. As we get a quick replay here of Blaze pounding that through. There's a nice pull there by Andrew Johnson, number 59. Blaze does a nice job bouncing it back outside of the space. Good strong run to finish it off across the end zone. And now it's time for the muddle huddle. As the Cats get lined up here to see, looks like we're going to get a shift into a kick. And to see that big leg of Bren Ratner again here, number 18, the kicker for the Cats. Number 11, Steven Gavrick, is on the hold. And Jack Trudelaar is back at the snap. Holds down, and there's the kick. Would have been good from Vernon Hills. And that's a 7-0 Cats lead here at the first quarter.
You know, we had some really nice downfield blocking by our wide receivers on that play because the pole guy, Richter, he got hit right away by a defensive lineman, basically was taken out of the play. So LaVista's running basically with he and hoping for some blocks from the wide receivers, and he got them.
Connie Colwell just dropped off the stats of that Cats drive. It was 7 plays, 63 yards in 2 minutes, 23 seconds, and a great start out there for the Cats to get this going and capped off by that Blaze LaVista run. A couple big plays there for the Cats. You know, we talked about it was in that defensive keys of the game, Coach E, about generating the big, limiting the big plays for the Cats defense against the Richards offense, but the Cats offense showed the opposite there, about being able to generate some explosive plays there and really make up for some of those penalties that they faced to overcome them and get the ball back into the end zone.
Well, the first one, as we had mentioned, was Shambo pulling the ball up, dropping back to pass, pulling it up, not a quarterback draw. He just saw an opening, took it, got the first down. And then that fade route to Seth inside the 5-yard line, that really helped.
Ratner back to kick again here for the Cats. He's going to put the ball back there in here to a squib kick, and it's covered up there by number 12, Ahmad Buchanan from Richards. Richards will take over on their own 24 here. You know, Coach E, that's one of those that, you know, that scramble by Quinn is not going to go noticed by much, not going to maybe make a highlight tape at the end of the year when it comes to the big play come from this game. But it was a huge, important play here at the start of this game of getting the momentum back going for the Cats. And that was something, like you said, that Quinn showed last week about being able to use his legs to be able to keep plays going for the Cats and pick up positive yards, which was good to see.
I can think of at least 3 times that he did that. All third down, all third down.
So Richards back on the field in 10 personnel, 2 receivers to the top, 2 receivers to the bottom. There's your inside handoff. And there's another flag back in the play. Handoff is to Miles Mitchell, number 5. But we'll see again, that looks like we're in the vicinity of holding.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think if they had to have that one over, they'd say, kid, I don't care how important you thought your block was, take your hands off him. We would take a 2nd and 10 over a 1st and 20.
That is very true. I know Coach E, too, is a former offensive lineman. I can tell you there's holding every play. It's just
right.
whether they call it or not, and whether you do a good job of moving your feet to stay in position so that you don't get called for.
Right. I think part of it is if the guy's by you, let him go.
3 receivers at the top of the screen. Quick fake right there. Nice throw from Newman. That looks like on the reception it went to number 1, Sean Reynolds. And there's that connection again there for Richards that really like we were going to focus on here tonight, as that seems to be going to be the key for the Richards offense.
Yeah, no, he didn't get much of a look. That was a quick fake, and he knew right where his receiver would be. Hit him right away.
So 2nd and 7 here for the Bulldogs. Receivers stacked to the top and bottom of the screen. Newman's back to pass, and here he goes to take off on the run, and this is where he can really be dangerous. There's that scramble back there for the first down.
Yeah, Caleb Basic from his outside linebacker position got into the middle, made a nice tackle by himself.
So it looks like the officials are conferring here on the spot, and we are going to move the chains. It'll be first down Bulldogs on their own, let's call it 35 when the ball is set. And I know from talking to Coach Budge in the pregame, that was one thing that he was a little concerned about here with this Richards attack is when the play breaks down, what happens when Newman takes off with the ball and is able to create out in space. Motion man is number 1 from Reynolds from the Bulldogs. He's back to pass. There's a screen to number 5, Miles Mitchell. And Mitchell's off. He'll get about 9 yards there as there's 2 Wildcats in the tackle. Let's see number 5, Hayden Kuntz coming off the pile. Number 8, Boyd Hunt from that outside linebacker position, making the tackle there for the Cats.
Looked like Jack Trudelar got in on that one too. A sophomore middle linebacker. Took a lot of hustle for him to get there, but he got there.
You know, Coach E, sitting up here in the box, I've got a lot more appreciation for everybody who tried to see numbers. I know I'm going to do the best we can here tonight, but that year where we had black numbers on black jerseys probably made it really hard on a lot of people. So don't have a new appreciation for that. There's a handoff. Nice play there by the Wildcats. That looked like number 34, Charlie Clark, senior captain, had a nice stick there to make it down 3rd and short. Again, we got another flag on the play. We'll check in with our officiating crew to see what the call is.
Yeah, Charlie Clark as a junior, all-conference middle linebacker. That's not easy to do as a junior, but they say he flies to the ball.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
All right, so the 5-yard penalty will make it about 2nd and 7 here for Richards. Got a lot of action so far here from the officials tonight, and if you're wondering at home about all that action and you are interested in becoming officials, we do have an officials shortage here in the state of Illinois across all sports. So if you're interested, doesn't matter the sport, if you're interested in jumping in and helping us out officiate, please contact Mr. Woods in the athletic office. We'd love to help get you certified to be an official. Newman back to pass, rolls out here to the left. He's met there by 34, looks like Charlie Clark, who's able to bring him back down behind the line of scrimmage or right at it to put Richards back into that 3rd and long.
I got a feeling they're gonna find out where Clark is and run somewhere else based on what I've seen today.
Coach E, like you said, Charlie's looking really fast out there. Great closing the ball. Great shot there, the Cats linebacking core. 34, Charlie Clark. 33, Jack Trudelar. Number 8, Boyd Hunt.
Caleb Basic's in there somewhere.
Yep, there's Caleb there up at the top of the screen, number 23. He's joined by number 50, Owen McGrory here at the bottom screen. Antonio Vaughn's in at the nose guard position for the Cats. Cats back to pass. Good rush there. Just able to get the ball. Are they going to call it a catch? It looks like they will. That's a heck of a job by Newman, Coach E, about being able to concentrate, focus, and get that ball out somehow, some way.
I'd call it luck, because when you throw a duck up like that and it's not picked, you're just very thankful. It didn't go very far. I don't even think that was the guy he was throwing to. I could be wrong.
So good rush here by the Cats defense. 23, Caleb Basic in on that pressure too. And Newman's just able to get it out just a little bit before he's brought down, but it still puts Richards back in 4th down with LaVista and Kuntz back to receive the punt, and the punt is back short. Another poison call here for the Cats to get away. The Cats are going to get great field position again, starting back on their own 43.
Okay, that was more what I saw in pregame.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, we have a break in the action here, Coach E. LHS is hosting EKG screenings again, open to all students. An EKG is a painless and quick way to check the electrical signals of the heart to look for any concerns or conditions. It's free, super easy, and done during the school day. The program is ending, so this is the 9th and last opportunity to get a free EKG done by the Heart Smart EKG program. There's more information on the LHS website on how to register. If you have any questions, please contact the nurse's office. So Shambo and the Cats take back to the field. 3 receivers split out wide to the top. Quinn's back to pass, and there's LaVista on a nice comeback route as he moves back to the center of the field. He's met by a host of Bulldogs, but not after a 9-yard gain. Good timing there between Quinn and Blaze to get the Cats started here on this drive.
That was a matter of everyone knows Blaze is fast, so the minute he started sprinting, the 2 defensive backs dropped. He planted on a dime and turned around, and the ball was right there. That couldn't have been a better route and throw.
You know, it was a great route there, like you said, by Blaze. He started out the game last week with a big catch down the sidelines on a vertical ball. As you said, Coach E, everybody knows he's going to be able to burn over the top. He does a great job of sticking his foot in the ground there and taking the 10-yard completion. Cats back to pass again. There's LaVista on that same quick hitch. He gets upfield. Looks like he's going to get about 8. The Cats are rolling back in business. Good blitz pickup there by the Cats the Cats offensive line, sorry, and the Cats running back, number 30 DB Demarion Baker, to allow Quinn time to get the ball back out.
I think until they see Blaze getting bumped and there's still a guy over the top, they're going to him all day.
There you go, DB back on the run. DB to be able to cut back to the left, picks up that 1st down for the Cats on about a 5-6 yard run. The chains will move, and that'll give it 1st and 10 for the Cats on the Bulldogs 35.
Okay, I wasn't sure how many times in a row they were going to go to Blaze, so I was watching that time, and the guy was bumping him, and Blaze is scraping him off, running a good route anyway, even though it was a predetermined run play.
2 receivers split wide to the screen. Caleb Basic in now on offense at that fullback position, along with those big 5 mules up front. Shambo fakes, back to pass, sticks in against a little bit of pressure. Ooh, looked like he had the receiver on the inside there, just couldn't quite connect to number 6, Sam Seth, from that inside receiver position. That'll put the Wildcats into a 2nd and 10.
Almost looked like he felt some pressure. I didn't really see it, but that was underthrown, and that's not something he usually does.
It looked like we had a body on a body up front. The pocket might have been closing down here a little bit as we go to check.
Kind of throwing it quicker than he wanted.
Here we go, Cats back up to the line quick. Again, 2 split out wide to the top. LaVista split out wide to the bottom with Bazek and Baker back in the backfield. Richards showing a little bit of pressure here, and this is where a little bit of that cat and mouse game comes in. There's a handoff into Baker. Baker squares through. Is able to pick up about 5, let's say 6 yards here to make it 2nd, 3rd, and 4. We'll call it 3rd and 5.
Baker's thing is not really running up the middle, but if we can widen or soften up the middle with some, some threat from the receivers, if there's a little bit of room, he is so quick.
It'll be interesting to see here if Richards was the offender first, caused the Cats to jump, or if they're going to get the Cats here in the false start.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So here we go, Coach E. One of those keys of the game for Coach Shack was staying calm in the face of adversity. Cats did a great job of that, overcoming penalties in the first drive. We'll see if they can do that again as the Cats have a little personnel change here.
Looks like Ratner's going in there. I thought he was just a kicker. They say he's a wide receiver.
So it looks like it's Nikolic, Ratner, and LaVista split out wide to the top of the screen. Seth and Gavrick into the bottom of the screen.
This would be a nice play, time for a quarterback draw, actually. We already know that Shambo can run.
That's right, and it looks like it's a little lighter in the box with 5 or 6, knowing that you're going to get one drop here. Pressure's coming here from Richards. Shambo's flushed out, rolls to his right. He's able to spin back away, gets the ball out, zipped wide, sitting back deep to LaVista. Oh, just can't bring it down. Nice job by Quinn of avoiding the rush there as the Cats got into the scramble drill, had a chance for that big play, just couldn't quite connect back to La Vista. I'm sure that's one those guys like to have back because that's a play they normally make.
That was a great throw. He had to go, 50 yards, 48 yards. The guy had too much time to get back on defense. But, yeah, so La Vista was open.
Here we go, decision time here for the Cats on 4th down. Ball's in the opponent territory. Cats defense has been playing strong here. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Jones, coaching staff, has cooked up, as we've got about 1:01 left here in the first quarter.
Uh-oh, we're almost out of time.
And it looks like it's going to be timeout Cats.
Offense.
They were spending too much time thinking about what their personnel package would be, and I'm like, hey, 4th down, we gotta go. We gotta have a 4th down play.
No, it might be time for one of those screens, maybe a little tight end screen, something along those lines. That's a blast back to the 2000 freshman playbook, Coach E, that we used to run over at that Brainerd campus field on that tight end screenplay. I think we were 5 for 5 at one point on a success rate of touchdowns on that one.
Yeah.
So, do you like CSI or the morgue scent in any movie? The first meeting of the Psychology Club will take place on Monday, September 18th in room 217, and we will be hearing from the Lake County coroner, who will talk a little bit about forensics. I know Coach O'Neill, before he left, was putting in some club announcements, so I'll try to get those in for everybody here as we get going through the broadcast. Did not know that the Psychology Club was getting started. That's quite an interest, talking about CSI or talking about the morgue and things like that. And I even proofread all these to be ready to go. It still kind of got me caught off guard. And I'm even interested. I might have to swing by on the 18th to check it out.
You show some interest, they'll start a club.
All right, here we go. Shambo back to pass. He fakes, looks for La Vista. Nice. And there it is. Nice, guys. Oh, it looks like the ball went back onto the ground. A little pressure there back in the backfield, 2 from Richards. Cats had a chance there on that one, just not quite able to connect on it. It'll be a turnover on downs there. Although, Coach E, like you said, the ball being on that side of the field, good. Not a bad call here by the Cats to be able to take that shot, try to continue that drive on. Cats defense has been playing here tough and being able to pin Richards back to get the offense the ball quick.
You know, the defense has really made the Richards' offense work, and our offense has been doing really well. I don't think that was a gamble at all to go on 4th down.
All right, so Richards will take it back out for their 3rd drive of the game here. 2 receivers split out wide to the top. Newman back to pass, or back on the run on the keeper, hands it off to number 5, Miles Mitchell. He'll pick up a couple yards here, and it looks like we're going to have time for maybe one more play before the quarter. Depending on what happens here at the top. Both offenses moving quick tonight, Coach E, keeping us on our toes here up on the booth. It'd be interesting to see what Richards does if they want to take the ball going in here to the quarter on this next one, or try to get a couple more in going this way. No real wind advantage tonight as Richards spreads out 3 wide to the top of the screen. Great job there by the Wildcats, not falling off for that keeper at all. That's number 80, Logan Krzyzewski, number 34, Charlie Clark, doing a great job from that inside linebacker position, being able to sniff out the keeper there from the Richards quarterback.
The previous play, you had Kyle Burns in there at nose guard who made the tackle. You also have, 71 is Braxton Condon. So we have so many linemen that are going both offense and defense. They got to find a time to spot them. And that's why Burns was in there, and Condon were in there for 2 plays, and Burns got in the score sheet.
So that'll wrap us up here for the first quarter of play. It is the score, Libertyville 7, Richards nothing. It'll be 3rd and 9 when we come on back here. As we get started here tonight, I want to give a huge shout out to our Cat TV crew, all the crew behind the scenes, on the end zone cameras, on the sideline cameras, manning the booth, doing the graphics, making us look good up here. We got a shot of everybody down in the Wildcats production booth giving a wave. So big shout out to Mr. Treptow and the whole Wildcats production. It is a first-class operation that is on par with anybody in the state. And as we get ready to flip back over here, we've got some upcoming LHS athletic events we want to kind of highlight. The varsity boys soccer team has had a great, successful run so far in the New Trier College Prep Showcase. They finished pool play at 2-1 and finish up the tournament tomorrow at New Trier. The varsity girls tennis team competes in the Fremd Invitational tomorrow morning. while the varsity boys golf team heads out to the Buffalo Grove Invitational playing at Buffalo Grove Golf Course tomorrow afternoon. So here we go now. The starters back in the second quarter. It's 3rd and 9 for Richards. Moving back to pass, screen out to the top to number 11, Bradley Lamphere. And he's brought down short by a host of Wildcats. Looks like we've got every jersey on the field in on that one. And it'll bring up a 4th and 5 here for the Bulldogs.
So unless we see a replay, we're probably not going to give you any number or any tacklers on that one.
I think that's an assist for everybody on the defense on that one when Coach Budge goes to put in the stats.
Yeah, we got Antonio Vaughn. He's getting a shot in at nose guard right now.
There's a good look there, too, at number 24, Eric Waldorf. Just popped in the screen. Number 50, Owen McGrory. Number 8, Boyd Hunt. And it looks like Hayden Kuntz and Blaze LaVista are heading back deep for the Cats, as the Cats defense again holds on 3rd down and Richards is forced to punt. You know, Coachy, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cats get ready to come after one of those punts. I think it might be prime for one at one time here to maybe make a run at one and get a block. They've been kind of close without much pressure.
We'll say this, they have 3 protectors back, and I saw them spread out pretty nice. And I know if they've told the kicker, if you're not going to kick it far, at least get it off quick and try to get some forward spin, which he did on that one, because that probably only went 15 yards across the line of scrimmage, but then 15 more yards on the roll.
You know, Coach, like we were talking about a little bit at the beginning of the game, being able to kick the ball to the end zone, huge advantage in high school football off the kickoff. Same comes from a punt, being able to limit the return, where normally bad things can happen sometimes when you're trying to get people to make those tackles in space, about kind of kicking that knuckleball and getting some good spin and just getting the positive 30, 35 yards and kind of live to fight another day.
Yep, that's what happened on that one.
So Sam Seth in motion here for the Wildcats. Shambo with the handoff to Baker. And DB falls forward for a gain of 4 here on 1st down.
I'm sure they would take that, get a 4-yard 1st down.
You know, Coach E, the difference between week 1 and week 2 is normally where football teams see the most improvement during the year. And the Cats seem to be much more consistent in the run game here tonight than they did against Lamont. That's an encouraging sign for those big guys up front. As we get a look there, Kyle Carollo in the student section. Looks like it's a beach theme there tonight.
Hawaiian night.
Seth back in motion for the Cats. Number 9, Josh Holston. He releases back downfield. Shambo back to pass. He connects with LaVista, and that will be a 1st down for the Wildcats. I think we're going to get used to calling that connection quite a bit this year, Coach.
They even had 2 guys on him. I don't know if the guy bumped him at the line of scrimmage as much as he did the time before, but I think that has been their best success. And then have another guy over the top in the event LaVista gets by him.
All right, so here we go. Cats hurry back up to the line. Seth and Gavrick split out wide to the bottom of the screen. LaVista to the top. Shambo back to pass. Finds LaVista again for a nice little 8-yard gain.
Nice pressure by Richards, and Shambo really had to get it off. I think if he doesn't have time to think, he's thinking LaVista.
You know, we talked about Quinn being the catcher for the baseball team. That's where you're able to really see that quick release be showcased here. That translates over to the football field so well about the different angles he's able to get that ball out, and with the speed he's able to get it as well too. Handoff here to Baker. Baker runs through a few arm tackles, and it looks like we've got another flag there on the play. Back in that area of holding. Would not be surprised if this one is coming back.
Anytime they throw it at the line of scrimmage, somebody held at the line of scrimmage, trying to throw the flag right where the hold took place.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
When we have a run play that's over in about a 1.5 seconds, you only have time to do about one thing, and that's hold. The defense generally doesn't have time to do anything on a 1.5 second play.
So the Cats have been able to overcome some penalties here tonight. I know they would prefer not to have to do that, but they've been pretty successful here, especially with that explosive passing attack that they've been showcasing here tonight. So we'll see if the Cats can get back on track here to get us their 3rd and manageable, or the way they've been churning out some of the pass plays, and just pick up the 1st down right here. So 2 receivers split out again to the bottom of the screen. Holtz and LaVista are split out to the top. Holtz in at that wide position. Shambo back to pass. He's got LaVista beat deep, and LaVista's off. Oh, just gets caught there at the end. Great route there by Blaze. Nice throw, nice catch. And it looks, oh, we've got a flag back in the backfield. Looks like this one's going to be coming back.
Offense. 10-yard penalty.
I think that time the safety that
down.
had been over the top on LaVista, I think they got tired of doing that because they were connecting with him anyway. So now the poor cornerback's by himself. And he's running what Coach Shack calls a choice route, where it's a hitch. But if you're being pressed and you get by the guy, you just take off running. Certainly, LaVista can do that. He's been running about 5 hitches in a row, and here was the time for him to choose his fade route.
As the Cats are coming back here, it's going to be a 2nd and long as they march off that holding penalties. Cats get backed up to their own 30. Cats have done a nice job too, Coach E. That play has been there all night. Cats keep coming back to it. It's a great job of being able to take what the defense gives you and just keep going to what works. So 3 receivers split out here wide to the bottom of the screen. It looks like it's Gavrick, Nikolic, and Seth. LaVista out on the motion. Ball comes back out to LaVista here on the swing screen. He puts his shoulder down, is able to run through an arm tackle or 2 for a 5-6 yard gain. And that, looks like we've got another flag up there at the top of the screen. That one looks like it might be a pre-snap penalty. Maybe an illegal formation. Maybe somebody didn't get quite on the line.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this drive tomorrow morning in film session. I don't, I can neither confirm nor deny whether it was a hold, but I can confirm that a hold kills drives. And illegal procedures really kind of no excuse for that.
Yep, I know that it doesn't matter what call sheet you got. There's not a lot on there for 2nd and long that the Cats face right now. So the key here for the Cats is just going to be generate some positive yardage, get it back to that 3rd and manageable spot. Don't need to get it all right here. Now the Cats are very capable though at those skill positions of that big play, so they might get it all at this point.
Well, I don't see a safety rolling over to LaVista. So I know
Shambo
somebody's
back
going
to pass.
long.
Pressure back out.
Better eat that one.
And it looks like Quinn went down on the slide. That looked like it was let's see if we can get one on the replay here for Richards. Looked like number 4, Seamus Doyle. On some pressure there from Richards. Maybe number 35, Johnny Liscombe. That's number 34, Philip Robinson on the pressure there for Richards.
You're saying not much in the play sheet for 2nd and 25, and there's not much for 3rd and 30. But I think we're taking a lot of time because we're trying to find it. I don't think you're going to find it. So just let LaVista go long and send a bomb to him. We've
seen that too. Even last week, Coach E, Gavrick had a nice move off, had a big touchdown there in that first score for the Cats. The Cats are very capable of generating a big play without having to do much. 3 split out wide here to the top.
That better have been
2
them
to the
lining
bottom.
up in the neutral zone because I can't believe we would take a illegal procedure again.
We'll check in back here. Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
That was them looking
penalty.
for that 3rd and 30
3rd
play.
down.
You said's not there.
So number 9, Josh Holst coming off for the Cats. 34, Charlie Clark coming back on, and 23, Caleb Basic. Looks like Nikolic is going to be split out wide. Looks like Luca and Blaze are switching spots here. Blaze is getting split out wide to the single receiver side at the top of the screen. Luca and Sam Seth down here at the bottom of the screen. Cats are in about a 3rd and 35. It looks like right here. Can't quite get the exact number on it. But Shambo's going to quick back to pass. Gets flushed out a little bit from the pocket. He can be dangerous here on the rollout. There's LaVista, number 4. Looked like he was a little early.
Little early.
Oh.
We got to take a look at the rule book and see when you can actually hit the guy.
Yeah, that looked a little early from up here, Coach E. But like I said before, if you are interested in becoming an official, we definitely can help you out on that one and can help get anybody hooked up that needs to help us with the official shortage here in the state of Illinois. So this is going to be 4th down here for the Cats. First time for the Cats to come in here on a punt, it looks like. And we'll see Shambo back. Quinn doubles as the punter here for the Cats. Looks like number 5, Miles Mitchell, is one of the deep men back for Richards. Snaps back, kicks away, and that is a boom! What a punt and what a roll. Great kick from Shambo, flips the field position, and is able to pin Richards back down in the 15. Wonderful quick kick there by Quinn.
53 we got. And it wasn't in the air. It was the roll.
So, Coach E, well, we have a little break in the action here. The girls cross-country team heads up to UW Parkside tomorrow for the Racine Horlick Rebel Invitational. And next week, the Wildcats kick off North Suburban Conference play. And it's girls swimming and diving hosting Lake Forest on Wednesday. We've got soccer getting in action in North Suburban Conference play. Girls volleyball heads up to Warren. Boys soccer heads up to Warren. And then football heads up to Warren as well. So we're starting to get into that conference schedule now that the calendar flips over to September.
I think there's going to be some mad Blue Devils starting the season at 0-2.
There we go. Looked like number 1, Sean Reynolds on the motion. John Newman will fake the handoff, and he will be on the keeper. Looks like gain of 3 there. Get Richards into 2nd and 7. And you know, second down's been a key down here for the Cats defense tonight, Coachy. They've really kept Richards in that 3rd and long. Don't think we've really seen a 3rd and short yet from Richards. And let's see if the Cats can keep him back in there again with Coach Budge in the defense. Now they're going to hand the ball off there to Reynolds as he gets the edge. He's able to turn the corner. Reynolds breaks away, and that's a nice tackle, touchdown saving tackle almost there. Let's see if we can get a look at it. That's number 2, Mason Strader on the tackle, containing that big play there for Richards as they get Reynolds loose off the edge.
That's a jet sweep, exactly the way we run it. You think they'd be ready for it, but boy, Richards got the edge.
You know, Coach E, that jet sweep back in the early 2000s was something that was a little novel. Now you see it all the time across all levels of football.
I can't think of anyone in the area that did it before us.
So there you go. That looks like number 5, Miles Mitchell on the keeper on a counter. Mitchell is able to sneak back and breaks off about a 20-yard run there. There's a little interesting little wrinkle there from the Bulldogs to put Miles Mitchell, who's been at running back for most night, back there at the quarterback position, off that little play fake with the counter going back the other way. I know we had a guy back in 2014, 2015 who scored a lot of touchdowns in a play very similar like that, Mr. Riley Lee, so I know tunes into Cat TV broadcasts from time to time.
Luca DiCarlo on that tackle.
Oh, looked like we jumped a little early there from the Bulldogs.
Start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Richard seems to have a little momentum here, getting some motion worked into the offense here, getting the run game starting to go. This will be a good chance for the Cats defense to buckle down here. It'll be 1st and 15 after the penalty. Richards is in the Wildcats territory for maybe the first time tonight.
Some of the linemen for Richards has some size, but none of their backs are big. They're all, I don't think anyone's over 6 foot. They can all run.
There we go, direct snap. Big keep right there. Oh, that's a nice tackle by number 33, Jack Trudelar. That was Mitchell. No motion that time, just kind of straight up, kind of looked like a little bit quarterback power. Trudelar shot through that backside gap, was able to make a nice tackle. Number 73, Jake Richter, coming back on the field here for the Cats at the defensive line position.
So as you were talking about Riley Lee's, that was, if you ever had a go-to play, it was quarterback power back in the fall of 2015.
We ran a lot of quarterback runs back in 2015, that's for sure. All right, so 2 receivers stacked here for Richards. Newman back at quarterback, and it looks like another flag back on the play. Looks like the Cats got a little anxious there.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
A lot of discipline on the Richards offensive line. Not moving, taking the hit when the guy came across. That helped for them. We're sending somebody every play. I don't know who, but someone's blitzing, and that's the guy that got a little anxious, whoever the blitzer was.
All right, here we go for the Bulldogs now that they get about some yardage back there to make it 2nd and 9. 2 split out wide to the bottom of the field. Newman back, quick back to pass. Ball's a little bit high there. Pressure coming from the Cats up front, maybe force that ball to sail just a little bit on Newman's. Newman looked like he had a receiver open on that same route we've seen Shambo and La Vista connect on that little hitch up there to the boundary, but they're unable to connect, and they're going to put Richards back in that 3rd and 9. I got to think here at some point Richards is getting into 4-down territory as they start crossing the 50. Haven't had many opportunities like this on the Cats defense tonight. Here's the pressure coming from the Cats D. Able to flush Newman back out of the pocket as he takes off, ready to go, gets the ball back away, but that's going to force 4th down. Coach E, like you said, Cats brought a lot there. Too many for Richards to be able to block. Forced Newman out quick. Had to make a decision. Things ended up well for the Cats.
He was lucky to even get that ball off. It took a outrunning some contained coverage, but plenty of Cats were on the prowl on that one. So I think it was a great defensive play.
Interesting decision here from the Bulldogs to head back to bring on the punt team, thinking they're going to. It looks like they're going to try to pin the Cats back here deep. Cats do get the ball, Coach E, to start at the second half. So this was something we talked about in the broadcast last week. Cats did a great job of managing the end of the second quarter to be able to get that score on and then be able to get the ball right back. It puts a lot of pressure on a team if the Cats can get some stuff put down together here. And it looks like that ball is going back in the end zone. Cats will bring it out on the touchback. But to be able to get that ball back here at the end of the second quarter, get a nice drive put together, get some good execution going, get ahead of the sticks a little bit, get in and come score, and then the Cats get the ball right back so you get that chance for that 14-point swing.
So I see where the punter, he's doing what we were talking about before. He's just trying to get it end over end. It's not a great kick, but it's not easy to catch, and it's always getting a forward roll, although they probably would have liked it to forward roll a little bit less to keep it out of the end zone. But nonetheless, that served their purpose of getting us in a little bit of a hole.
All right, so the Cats offense comes out and takes the field. LaVista motions out wide to the top of the screen. Fake back to LaVista. Shambo steps up, going deep for Gavrick. Great catch by Steven Gavrick. Wonderful job. DB was in position. Gavrick had great body control. Great ball from Shambo on that back shoulder. There's not much the Richards defender could do on that one. Great play from the Cats to be able to flip the field.
Okay, they say he's 5'9", but and it's true, Gavrick is 6'3", but I don't even know if he's 5'9", and that was well covered, but Gavrick's going to out-jump him.
All right, Cats hustle back up here to the line. LaVista back in motion. Handoff here to LaVista on their own jet sweep. Come back around. Nice block by Sam Seth. Nice block by number 13, Luka Nikolic. Blaze is able to hit the corner and take it for 8. Nice run there on the Cats. Great perimeter blocking from the Cats receivers.
And that's what we want to do, LaVista, get him out. He did break contain right away. I think they're going to have a talk with the defensive back about peeking inside. But a very nice tackle by the safety to hold him to an 8-yard gain.
Basic in from that wing back position. LaVista split out wide to the top. Seth and Nikolic down here at the bottom. Quinn looks back deep, tucks the ball, takes off a run. There's a first down for the Wildcats. Quinn puts his shoulder down and gets it down to the 25. Nice run there by Shambo on the 12-yard scamper. He felt that pressure, Coach E was able to step up through that rush lane. And it looks like we have a flag coming after the field, which generally means there's a little extracurricular activity going on. We'll let the officials sort it out and see what the call is here.
You're going to see a lot more of that because there's really nothing the defense can do. I mean, do you really want to keep someone not rushing and make them a spy? I don't know that you'd say Shambo is going to run that much that you need a spy. But, boy, when he pulls it up, what a threat.
You know, and that's like Coach E, like we've mentioned a couple times in the broadcast already, that's been one of the really encouraging things to see from the Cats office this year is when Quinn's able to tuck that ball down and go. He's been picking up chunks of yardage, which will really help the Cats out.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Dead ball, taunting, defense. Dead ball, taunting, offense. Those penalties offset.
Or you could just say extracurricular penalty.
Right.
when both teams get it.
Looks like both head coaches are looking for numbers on that one. All right, so Shambo's got the mules up and ready to go as the clock starts. Cats are right up to the line here. 3 receivers split out wide to the bottom of the screen. Shambo fakes the pass. There's a bubble screen back there. Sam Seth. Seth with a nice job inside. Seth turns on the Jets. Is able to pick up, looks like, let's call it a gain of 10. And we'll call it a first down for the Wildcats as they start to move the sticks.
He gets going from 0 to 60 quick.
You know, and Coach E, those bubble screens are just extensions of the run game.
Yeah.
Cats fake that handoff, get the ball out quick on to the perimeter. Good blocking there on the outside from LaVista and Luka Nikolic. And Sam Seth's able to make a guy miss and pick up a first down. Boyd Hunt now in the backfield with Quinn Shambo. Shambo packed the pass, look at the top of the screen, ball's up. Beautiful throw to number 11, Steven Gavrick, and that is a Cats touchdown. Again, that's almost indefensible, that little back shoulder fade. Beautiful pitch and catch. Great job by the Mules up front to give Quinn time. That puts the Cats back up on the board and makes it a 13-point game.
I will say this, that defensive back, though, he was right with him, but he never did see the ball. So that's just simply Gavrick just jumping up and Shambo putting it right where it belongs.
So Cats will bring out the Muddle Huddle crew here to get set up. And it looks like the officials are going to go check in over here on the Richards sideline. So while we have a break in action here, oh, it looks like the officials are going to inform us of something here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
So the Cats with the second unsportsmanlike penalty here. Now I think that's going to, we'll go back to those keys of the game about that being calm in the face of the adversity. Cats are going to have to kind of get back from that red light, yellow light state back into green light here and to control themselves as they get going through the rest of this game.
I think they might have celebrated excessively. That's what it sounds like.
So Cats with the muddle huddle. Truller back with the snap to Charlie Clark. Charlie gets back and gets in, and it looks like that's 2 for the Cats.
By the skin of his teeth there.
So Coach Henneberry and the Muddlers get that one across the line to make it 15-0. Coach Colwell again brings over the stats, 6 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute, 48 seconds here for the Cats.
That's
and that
quick.
was capped off by a couple big throws from Quinn Shambo to Stephen Gavrick to get the Cats going there.
You know, we talk about Richards. We really should talk about the history of their program. They had became a school in the fall of 1965. Their first 2 years, they had 2 coaches and no winning record. That changed in the fall of 1972 when a Hall of Fame coach, Gary Corhonen, took over the head position. They went 6-3 that year. Now that there was no playoffs back then. 3 of the next 4 years, losing record. And then at that point on, Richards started taking off. They made their first playoff in 1978. They won the state title in 1988, repeating in 1989. Always going deep into the playoffs. Coach Corhonen finished a 36-year career in 2007 with a 306 and 91 record. And of course, their home field is named after him. Anthony Sheehan was one of his players way back in the 90s. He took over as head coach in 2008. He missed the playoffs the first year and then made it the next 13 years. So quite a tradition of Richards.
That definitely, and Coach Sheehan's had a great run down there at Richards, 115-41. It's an awesome record, and they've done a great job with the program. So Ratner gets the ball back up in the air, gets kind of that low liner, that wobbling kick, picked up by number 5, Miles Mitchell. Mitchell bursts up the center, he's off and over the midfield. Cats get a saving tackle there by number 5, Hayden Kuntz, on the special teams tackle, but this is going to be good field position here for Richards to start. Let's see if the Cats defense can buckle down here and keep Richards off the scoreboard before the end of the half.
We have some pretty good kickoff members of the defensive team that they're using on the kickoff team, and it's going to take, that was a nice opening. It was going to take a really good defensive player to bring that ball carrier down.
All right, as Richards comes back out here, it looks like he'll be back in 10 personnel. 2 split wide to the bottom, 2 split to the top. Looks like a different quarterback in for Richards. That looks like number 17. Oh, that was almost jumped and picked by number 1, Mason Mirabella. Quarterback looks like number 17, Noah Escobedo. A sophomore is in for Richards. Be interesting to see about Dijon Newman, who's the starting quarterback for Richards, with the change here.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he got hurt because the last series they went with a non-quarterback, just basically doing a Wildcat formation.
Escobedo back to pass, gets that ball back over the middle and just in and out of the hands of his receiver. That looked like number 11, Riley Lamphere. I had to take that back. Number 10, A.J. Paulecki was the intended receiver. So that bring it down to 3rd and 1, maybe a short 2 here for the Bulldogs. Be interested to see if Richards goes back with that jet sweep, that motion. Seems to be the most consistent they've moved the ball in offense here tonight. But they're going to stay back in 10 personnel with Mitchell back next to Escobedo. Cats defense back up to the line of scrimmage. Ball comes back out, almost intercepted there by number 2, Mason Schrader. Didn't look like the receivers were on the same page there as the quarterback. And it's decision time here for the Richards Bulldogs.
You know, I'd say they probably have to go because there's only 2 minutes left to go in the ball game. But we did score the last drive in 1:48. So if they do give it up, could be a problem.
That is, like you said, Coach E, this is kind of a big turning point here early in the game. Cats have plenty of time with as explosive as their offensive attack is.
But on the other, you certainly don't want to go down 3 scores. But if you're going to play to win, now
here's Mitchell. Oh, there's a shot from Szyszewski. And great job by the Cats D. Huge stop. Number 80, Logan Krzyzewski, zips through that gap, is able to take down number 5, Miles Mitchell's in the backfield. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. The Wildcats will take over possession on the 40.
He must have come from a defensive line spot.
Great job shooting back on the gap. Caleb Basic, number 23, cleaning it back up. That's also number 60, Kyle Burns, getting in back on the end. Great job by the Cats defense. Great pressure all around from the Cats defense to bottle up that run.
All right, so we did it in 148 last time.
I got a good feeling here, Coach E. The Cats are going to get some points back up on the board before half.
I was going to say, if nothing else, get within real field goal range, and Ratner will do the rest.
All right, here we go. Shambo back to pass. Switch back out. Back into Nikolic, gets it dumped off. Luca picks up the first down on a 16-17 yard gain. Quinn did a nice job there of evading the rush, stepping up in the pocket. He's done a nice job of that, Coach E, tonight. When that rush comes out wide, he's had that lane on the inside there. The Mules do a nice job making that umbrella with that pass protection to allow Shambo the chance to step up and get the completion downfield to Nikolic.
Fans didn't like that late hit, but it wasn't really that late.
Oh,
Yeah,
number
put his knee down.
6, Sam Seth, gets the knee down, had a lot of room to work with back up there to the top of the field. He'll just pick up 4, though, to make it 2nd down and 6 for the Cats. Cats do a nice job here, Coach E, of not rushing too much. They've got 2 timeouts left, plenty of time. Clock stops on first down here in high school football with 1:30 left to go, and there's no need to rush. Get a great play in here and get everybody on the same page. Handoff there to number 8, Boyd Hunt. He's met in the backfield by a host of Bulldogs, and that'll bring up 3rd down and timeout Richards. So Richards here trying to capitalize on a potential third down stop. Sorry, they switched it. Timeout Wildcats there. That was to say that makes a little bit more sense than
yeah, I think
timeout
Richards
Bulldogs.
wanted that clock to run at this point. Without having the ball, they probably want to just get to the second half.
Yeah, so the Cats will come back over the field here to talk things over. As we get a look back up at the stands, like we said, great crowd here tonight at the Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. The Wildcat Marching Band is getting set up for the great halftime show.
Offense.
Although you have to admit, if you look at the other side of the bleachers, plenty of good seats available.
There definitely is. Definitely is. There's a little distance in here between the two schools. I know Richards and Lamont are in the same conference, so it is a long drive on that Labor Day weekend. That they've got a loyal supporting cast that's here from Richard to support their team, and we're grateful for having them come up and make the trip. So it's 15-0 Cats here with 1:18 left in the second quarter. Coach E, what are you looking for here from the Cats in this third down play?
Well, we do have, you said it yourself, well, we have a timeout, but I got to believe they're going to try to save that for the last play, and they're trying to throw some out routes and step out of bounds right away.
I definitely can see those, like you said, Coach E, the ball going up in the air on this down, and that the Cats looking for that connection between Shambo and La Vista, Shambo and Gaverick, Shambo and Nikolic, Shambo and Seth. I mean, Shambo, pick a receiver. Yeah. The Cats have really found some space out there tonight. Coach Shack and the offensive staff are doing a great job of kind of taking it to the Bulldogs here a little bit, picking it apart, utilizing all those weapons, Coach E, like you talked about at the beginning of the broadcast.
Well, we had mentioned the Coach Shack's favorite play is the choice route, where I'm looking at Nikolic. He's probably been called a hitch, but he can also turn it into a fade if he gets by and there it's turned into a fade. There it is.
Nice catch there by Blaze. Oh, and they're going to call it down. Looked like the hands may have been underneath it, but doesn't matter what I think. The officials on the field called it incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down. You know, the way the Cats got lined up there, it looks like Blaze was going to be one-on-one with nobody over the top. Not surprised to see Shambo. I'm sure he's probably licking his chops when he sees that each time.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. This is going to be 4th down here for Cats. So now the tide has been turned here a little bit. Kind of a big 4th down here for the Cats to be able to keep the drive going, get some points up on the board here before the half.
Well, the tide will be turned right back if we get this thing. Then we're going to be hustling, get another playoff, save that timeout. Because you did say the clock will stop.
The clock will stop on the first down.
But it'll pick up as soon as the chains are set. So you got to hustle to get that first play off.
Looks like another timeout here for the Cats. Play clock was running down low there. So, Coach E, well, we've got to break in the action here in the broadcast tonight. Well, we've got you up here, and you are kind of the one person that probably has the most LHS history that we're going to get, knows the most LHS history that we're going to get on the broadcast. can you talk to us about the new LHS Athletics 2023 Hall of Fame class that's going in this October?
Yeah, we're in our 3rd year of the Hall of Fame. We have selected 7 individuals and 1 team. We're pretty much always going to have a team that's going to get in there, and it could be athletes or coaches. I mean, it's a committee, and we vote. We don't know how the vote's going to come out, but it just seems like we always come up with some coaches and some individuals. We have unofficial veterans committee, or a veterans
Candidate.
Veterans group.
Yep.
And we always come up with one guy from way back when. So our veteran candidate from 1932, Vange Burnett, state champion in the discus, 2-year all-conference football player, all-conference basketball player. He pretty much did it all. In fact, he won a national championship in the discus in 1932, played football for Northwestern. We have from the class of 1967, we have Craig Schwerman. I see I'm not going to finish this, but we'll come back to it. But Craig Schwerman, football, basketball, baseball, great career Newsom Award winner. So was Vange Burnett.
All right, here you go. The Cats are off. Shambo back to pass, gets the ball up air, looking deep for La Vista. And he's got it for the touchdown. Great body control, great catch. Beautiful throw from Shambo. 6 points for the Wildcats. Let's look at the replay here. See Shambo gets flushed out, able to zip that ball back in. La Vista beats 2 Bulldogs. Great body control to keep the ball back down. And that's a touchdown there for the Wildcats.
That poor defensive back, he was right there, cannot cover him. Cannot cover him.
So that Shambo La Vista touchdown connection will bring Coach Henneberry and the Muddlers back out. And they'll shift back in here for the kick. We know Ratner's got a boot on him. Let's see if he can put this one out on 176. Oh, and we allow a little penetration, and that is blocked. So with the 2-point conversion, Coach E, from the last time on the Muddles, kind of a no harm, no foul, as it's 21-0 Cats.
Yeah, I think we don't need to muddle any more than we have to, and with it already being 21-0, we got a good kicker. We should do that. Plus, next time we need a field goal, we'll know he's been warmed up. But they've had pretty good success with that muddle huddle.
So that Wildcat drive is 5 plays, 59 yards, 1 minute 4 seconds. And Richards will get the ball back here with 1 minute 4 seconds left. And we'll see, I don't think Richards has quite shown tonight, Coach E, that big playability that the Cats offense has shown. It'll be interesting to see how Richards chooses to approach the end of this half here.
You know, especially without their #1 quarterback in, we're not really sure what happened to him, but he threw a couple nice balls. The guy they got now is going to be a short pass guy. There's no way he's gonna be able to launch it.
Looking over on the Richards sidelines, it looks like #2, Dejon Newman, who is starting quarterback, is up, helmet on. So hopefully it's good news for him, and he's able to get back out of the field and get back into the game.
So getting back to the Hall of Fame, we'll put that in when we can, but Craig Schwerman from the class of 1967, he wound up playing baseball for Western Illinois, drafted by the Cubs, spent a couple years in their minor league organization. So he kind of did it all during his career.
All right, so Ratner back on the kickoff. Ball goes up deep. That one's, just in is Mitchell. Able to sneak it out. Mitchell bounces out wide, and he might be gone.
Uh-oh.
He's got one man to beat as Ratner comes in. What a tackle. Great angle. Great job there by number 18, Ben Ratner. Touchdown saving tackle, but that was a big return by number 5, Miles Mitchell for the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs of Richards are now in striking distance with 53 seconds left and a full complement of timeouts.
You know, we are going to have some contained discussion on that because he made it clear from the start he was going to the right, and we let him outside. And good back, once he's got that opening, but shame on us for not shooting him into, where the cavalry was.
All right, looks like number 2, Dejon Newman, is back out at quarterback there for Richards. Good to see him back up and healthy back in the game. So Richards come back in 10 personnel here, 2 split out to each side. Be interesting to see how Richards opens things up here. Newman back to pass, wide receiver screen up to the top. That's an incompletion there. So bring it second time. I definitely got to think here, Coach E, that this is 100% 4-down territory for Richards. I know they brought the punt team out a couple times tonight. We thought they might go into taking a shot there at 4th down. But I think at this point in the game, they're definitely viewing this as a 4 down and no rush again with those 3 timeouts to be able to get the whole playbook at your disposal here. All right, so 2 receivers split out wide again, staying in that balanced kind of 2-by-2 set. Newman takes a snap, drops back to pass, takes off and run here on the designed quarterback keeper, and he's got a seam, puts his shoulder down, and that's a 1st down for the Bulldogs. Clock will stop here on 1st down as the chains are set. Richards is going to hustle up to get set as the chain gang keeps moving here.
Because like you said, as soon as the chains get set up, clock gets rolling again. They already got it rolling before. All they really look for is the box, the play box being set up.
All right, so we're 2-by-2, a little tighter stack here. Cats defense brings some pressure. Newman back to pass with a strike over the middle, and that's picked off.
Got it.
Great job there by the Cats defense. Number 5, Hayden Kuntz, comes up with the tipped interception. And the Cats will take over on their own. It looks like they're going to call him down by a knee on the half-yard line. Cats take over there, but great job by the Cats defense, really coming back up at the clutch. That's reminiscent of that Lamont game, Coach E, last week. A couple of those interceptions once Lamont got down in the red zone.
Yeah, I think he would have preferred once he caught it to roll instead of try to bring it out. But nonetheless, 26 seconds left to go. We'll find a way to get it out. But that stopped a pretty nice field position set up for Richards.
Again, Richards had a little momentum going there in the drive, but the Cats defense buckled down, able to keep it on the end zone, get the ball back here to the offense here with 26.2 seconds left in the half. So I know, Coach E, one of the changes this year is the fireworks displays at halftime tonight. So it was week 1 as well. They've got some fireworks coming back, so I know the fans in the stands here will be looking forward to that after the marching Wildcats take the field.
He's got to be throwing this. Oh, that's nice. They get the little 5-yard penalty. I got to believe he's throwing this thing because they're bringing everybody,
defense.
And we're not taking it under center.
Still 1st down.
You know what, Coach E, with the Cats skill position players, I would not be surprised to see that ball chucked up and let them go see what happens, especially back here. Nothing much to lose at this point.
Yeah, there's really no way you can do a running play from the shotgun formation when you're pinned down the 1-yard line.
All right, so Shambo under center. He's backpacks Charlie Clark in at tailback.
I was going to say, they might run now.
Handoff is to Clark. Charlie does a nice physical run there, gets a yard or 2.
Charlie did a great job at the end. The last drive, it's 22-13 against Lamont. We got about 5-6 minutes that we got to kill. He ran just about every play, kept getting the first down. I don't know how many first downs he got, probably 3 of them. I don't know how many yards he had, probably about 50, 60, but that sealed the win.
All right, so it looks like the Cats are going to let that run down into the half. And as the Cats head back into the locker room here at halftime, the score is 21-0 Libertyville. As we get ready to cut you loose here for the halftime show with the marching Wildcats, we look forward to a great second half here. We'll talk a little bit more LHS Athletics Hall of Fame. Coach E, I know we've got a couple more people to get into here this second half to recognize our honorees in the class this year. But enjoy the halftime show here with the great performances by the LHS Marching Band and the varsity dance team. We'll see everybody back here at the end of the half.
The partner of this year, the Marching Wildcats, are embarking on a journey out west. They open with one of the film's most enduring themes, based on the film Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. 1960's The Magnificent Seven's Academy Award-nominated score by Elmer Bernstein has been listed as one of the American Film Institute's top 25 American film scores. Please enjoy this performance of the theme to Magnificent Seven. Woody and Buzz. These famous partnerships have entertained the masses for decades and are an inspiration to any duo. From 1997 hit Pixar film Toy Story, the Marching Wildcats present You've Got a Friend in Need. Building on our famous partnership, 2019 saw an unlikely pair of musicians team up to record one of the country rap's most popular crossover hits. This next song held the #1 spot on the Billboard singles chart for a record 19 weeks, won 2 Grammy Awards, and achieved 16 times platinum status. Please enjoy the Marching Wildcats rendition of Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus's Old Town Road. We now feature the award-winning LHS Palms team under the direction of Casey Dugan and Allison Forsythe. Please enjoy this performance of I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. 1945, the Marching Wildcats have ended their halftime show by forming our school letters on the field. Please enjoy the 78-year-old Libertyville High School tradition to block LHS. Wildcat fans, get on your feet for the Libertyville fight song. That was senior tuba soloist Elm Hoodlum. The Marching Wildcats are under the direction of Adam Gore and Matt Carnset with percussion instructor Savannah Hendricks and student teacher AJ Tripoli. Drum majors are Arnie Brody, Captain Harrison, and Jessica Headland. The Marching Wildcats would like to give a special thanks to all of our student leaders and parent volunteers for all of their assistance in preparing today's performance and for all of their support this season. Our 2-0 junior varsity football team defeated Richards earlier tonight 34-0. Last week, the Wildcat freshman football team defeated Lamont 35-14. The freshmen will host Richards tomorrow here in the stadium and will kick off at 9 o'clock in the morning. The boys golf team finished second in the Warren Invitational. Quincy Adams was a medalist for the Wildcats, shooting a 5 under 67. Parker Johnson was fourth place with a 73. Wildcats also won their match against Waukegan with medalist Cole Eiserman shooting a 38. Wildcat girls golf team took fifth out of 16 teams in the Antioch invite last Saturday. Senior Kate Durst was a medal winner with a 96. They will host Fairfield next Tuesday. Boys cross country team took second place at the Lake County Championship on Wednesday. The team was led by Michael and Thomas Trudy along with James O'Keefe, Jack Stepp, Ben Vogel, Philip Volvedick, and Peter Rappa. Girls cross country team races in the Racine Invitational tomorrow morning. Girls tennis team competes in the Friends Invitational tomorrow. The varsity boys soccer team defeated Grays Lake Central earlier this week and had a tough loss to New Trier last night. In volleyball, the Libertyville girls volleyball team swept Friend earlier this week and then last night swept Evanston in 2. They'll be in action again next Wednesday at Warren. The varsity girls swim team defeated Vernon Hills 106-80 this week. Logan Howard paced the Wildcats with 4 first-place finishes. They will host Lake Forest next Wednesday. Come out and cheer for the Wildcats, and good luck to all the Wildcats in action this weekend. There's football action in the north suburbs. Final score, Maine West 49, Waukegan 0. In the start of the fourth quarter, Mundelein 39, Grays Lake North 10. And final score from Vernon Hills 28, Lakes 21.
All right, and welcome back. It was a great performance tonight from the LHS Marching Wildcats and the varsity dance team under the direction of head coach Casey Dugan. Well, we're speaking here about the dance team after you saw their halftime performance. I know coming up on Friday, October 20th, they have a Junior Poms dance clinic here at the high school where your favorite junior Pommers can come in learn a routine with the varsity and JV dance teams, and then perform at halftime of the JV game that night against Stevenson. More information is posted up on the LHS Athletics website under the dance team page, and you can find registration available up on the LHS web store. So, Coach E, as we're coming back out here, as we get ready to go, we still got about 3 minutes to get back up on the clock. Let's take a second and catch up some more on some of those inductees for the LHS Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2023.
Okay, before I start talking about the LHS Athletic Hall of Fame, which will be inducted on homecoming night, Friday, October 6th, I did want to talk about the Lake County High School Sports Hall of Fame. We have a new inductee from representing Libertyville and Zion Benton, Warren Nicholas from the class of 1960. He was football, basketball, and baseball all-conference in all 3 sports. Team captain in all 3 sports. Special mention all-state in football. Newsom Award winner. Then he went to Coe College, had a really nice football career for them, also played some baseball and some basketball. When he got out of Coe College, he got into teaching for Zion Benton and was the defensive coordinator for 27 years. Spent a lot of time on the opposite side of our field trying to beat Wildcats. But with all his effort for Libertyville and as well as coaching for Zion, very good candidate for the Lake County High School Sports Hall of Fame, and he will be inducted on Thursday, September 14th. We're playing a Thursday night game against Lake Forest that night, and that's when we will honor him. Getting back to Libertyville High School Athletic Hall of Fame, we did mention Vance Burnett from the class of 1932, Craig Schwerman from the class of 1967. Then we go to 1980, Mary Teague. She was a 3-sport athlete. She was volleyball, she was basketball, had an assist record for many years. And then here's a stat she had. She was a 4-year varsity letter winner for a softball team, 3 years as a catcher, 1 year as an outfielder. Struck out 1 time in 4 years, and I'll bet it was a bad call. What do you want to bet? Because she can make some contact. Then she went to Eastern Illinois, and this kind of wrapped it up for her. She was had a Hall of Fame softball career for Eastern Illinois, class of 1980. Then we go to 1982. We have Jim Pop. He was a 3-sport athlete. He was football, basketball, and track. All-state honorable mention in football, all-conference in basketball, and then qualified for state in the shot and discus. Newsom Award winner for the class of 1982. Also from the class of 1982, which is kind of a long shot to have 2 people from the same class get into the Hall of Fame. But we have Shane Sanders, and his only sport was gymnastics, but he's got the honor of being our first all-state gymnast, our first state qualifier, our first all-state when he took 6th in the state in a floor exercise as a sophomore. Then he wound up winning the Floor X title as a junior and as a senior, so he's our first state qualifier, first all-stater, and first state champion for our gymnastics program.
So those are all the individuals. I know we'll get a chance to talk about the 2 coaches, individual athletes. We have a chance to talk about the 2 coaches that'll be going into the Hall of Fame and the team coming up as we get through the broadcast. But for those folks who are in the area, if you come into the high school, if you get a chance to come to one of our athletic competitions up by the West Gym, between the West Gym and the new pool area, you'll see a completely redone area where the plaques are up for the Hall of Fame, the 2 previous Hall of Fame classes, as well as where the plaques will reside for this year's class as well, to check out the Hall of Fame from there. So as we get back here to action on the field here tonight, Richard's going to be kicking back deep to the Cats. First time for the Coach Christensen and the Cats kickoff return team to get back out. Try to get some numbers here. Looks like number 12, Tommy Bunick. Number 29, Brady Rowe on the front line there, joined by number 17, Charlie Gertz. Number 14, Luca DiCarlo. Back there in the wedge, we'll see if we can get some numbers. Looks like 33, Jack Trudelar. Number 81, Joey Chulo. And La Vista off the fake. Comes down here to the right side to the bottom of the screen. He's able to get up and on a nice return, get out of bounds just a little bit shy of the 40 at about the Cats 37. And that's where Quinn Shambo and the Cats offense will take back over as we get ready to start here at the second half. Coach E, what's one thing that stood out to you about the Cats offense here from that first half?
Well, I think the big thing is the defensive backs for Richards cannot cover our receivers. That's number one. Even when they're right on them, our guys are out jumping them. Shambo gets the ball to him. If Shambo needs to pull it down and run, he had 2 first downs on scrambles. It's all passing game. I don't think our running game's terrible, but we haven't needed it.
Yep, and those big guys up front have done a nice job. Richards has been bringing the pressure. Quinn's been able to get the ball out on time to those playmakers in space. That's a credit to those big mules up front. Led up there by number 73, Jake Richter, number 64, Rhett Van Boning, number 50, Owen McGrory, 72, Miles Pateski, number 59, Andrew Johnson. So Demarion Baker gets the carry here to start the second half for the Cats. He'll pick up a gain of 2, and it'll bring us to 2nd and 8 here for the Wildcats.
It looks like Richards making some great tackles in run support. They're having trouble with pass coverage, yes, but boy, when they get a one-on-one tackle, our guy's going down.
Here you go, handoff back there to Baker. Nice little cutback. Able to slip back through into a crack in the Richards defense. Pick up another couple yards, get it to 30 and manageable here. Call it 3rd and 5 as the Wildcats. So you check it here on the replay.
So Baker'd like to know why he got stopped by his own blocker. Let's take a look at who was in his running lane.
So there we go right there.
Made the mistake of looking back. You don't look back for someone to block. You go forward and let the fast back cut off that block. Assume he's going to outrun whoever you're turning back to hit.
So 3rd and 5 here for the Cats with La Vista split out wide to the bottom of the screen. Hard to see here at the top of the screen. Shambo back to pass. Big catch deep there. That's to number 10, Zach Henderson. He'll pick up the first down for the Cats. Nice catch there by Zach at the top of the screen.
Actually, I think we got Radner. Oh, you're right. I was going to say Radner was in there a lot. That I wasn't expecting him because I don't think they threw him last week, and Henderson wasn't in there at all.
Coach, you would not be wrong to second guess me if you saw my contact lens prescription. It's pretty fierce.
Well, from a distance, 10 and 8 are pretty comparable.
So the Cats stay in the same personnel package with Holst and Basic in. DB in the backfield. Handoff here to DB, and he is met right away in the backfield by number 34 from Richards. That is Philip Robinson on the tackle for the loss. It'll bring up 2nd and 12 here for the Cats.
I think we're ready to call it on 2 because I think they were anticipating. I think we pulled someone, and he snuck right in behind him.
So as the Cats get set up here, La Vista will travel back across the field here, switch it up on sides with Nikolic. Join Nikolic over there to the top of the screen. Looks like Basic and Holtz are staying back out there for the Cats as well. As the Cats look over to the sideline to get the signal back in. As the Cats come back up here, Richards in this base 3-4 defense starts to adjust to the Cats formation. La Vista is the motion man. He brings a host of Bulldogs over with him. And a nice job going down to the ground to get the catch there. But that throw put him down to his knees and was able, we'll call it no gain here. Make it 3rd and 12 here for the Cats.
So Libertyville was counting on if La Vista goes in motion, there'll only be one guy with him.
Looked like there's about 3 or 4 coaches.
Yeah, as soon as he went in motion, there were plenty of people that said, check who's going in motion and get on him.
I know Blaze had quite a first half there. I'm sure the Richards defense is going to know exactly where he's lined up each time, along with the whole offensive skill for the Cats.
And so will everyone else for on our schedule the rest of the year. They're going to know.
All right, so 3 receivers split out to the wide of the screen. Shambo back to pass. Look for the screen there from DB, and a nice job there by the Richards defense of stiffing that out. Sometimes, like we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, the opponent gets a vote too. Hats off to the Richards defense on that one and not falling back for the screen. Nice job by their defensive front. Looked like that was number 21, Khalil Lavelle, in on the tackle for Richards.
There was only one rusher. Everyone else is staying back. I don't know if that was by design or if we blocked too long. That's the question they're going to solve tomorrow in films.
All right, so Shambo back to punt here for the Cats. Trudelar at the snap. Quinn had a beauty of a punt the first time. He gets this one off with a nice little spiral, nice bounce. And that's going to get in and die. That looked like that came close to touching a Richards defender, but we will take it at the half-inch line, it looks like, right there as well. Kind of backed up against there. We can see here on the punt as Shambo gets out. That's 2 beautiful punts tonight here from Coach E. They're really bringing Richards with their back up against the wall.
That is case in point. You better catch that ball. You also better get away from it, too.
I was going to say that looked awfully close. I'm sure there's a conversation going on the Richards sideline about staying away from that ball because that very easily could have ricocheted off a Bulldog returner and been picked up by the Cats for a quick 6.
Yeah, and then once it hits, it's almost like saying, you know, you're not the guy. You're not the guy we want back there. That needs to be caught.
All right, so Coach Budge and the Cats defense here will take the field. Richards starting in the way back of their end zone here. Be interested to see what Richards has dialed up here. You know, Richards, Coach E, has put together some drives. They've had a little bit of momentum, but they really haven't been able to capitalize on that momentum yet. Cats have done a good job of really buckling down and not letting Richards kind of get into that flow. Looks like Newman's back to pass, and he's chucking it deep. And he's got a guy just overthrows him. That looks like he was looking for number 11, Riley Lamphere, on that play. And that's where kind of like what we talked about with Shambo down in the Cats end zone there, Coach E, right before the half. Got nothing to lose when you take that.
Might as well throw. Yeah, because you're going to have a hard time running it out of this. Yeah, they're probably just maybe, well, who knows, maybe 3 pass plays on a punt.
All right, so Richards lines back up here in the end zone. They'll be in the shotgun formation. Split out 2 wide here to the bottom of the screen. Wouldn't be surprised to see Newman on some sort of keeper here. There's a handoff into Mitchell, and he's able to break through a tackle, but he's not able to slip away from the Cats defenders. He'll be down a little short, bringing it into 3rd and 2. Big, strong run there from Miles Mitchell. I know, Coach E, he's been impressive today. He's run hard, had a nice return on the kickoff return, had a long run earlier, played a little quarterback, been all over the field for the Bulldogs tonight.
Just a little surprised that they would run out of the shotgun in their own end zone because some guy had a lick at him, didn't quite get him, and he squirted through for a nice gain, but that's taken a huge chance.
All right, Newman back under center, pitch there to Mitchell. Able to get back downhill. Looks like he's able just to sneak through and fall forward there.
That's close. For
the first down. Awfully close. Cats doing a nice job there of rallying to the football. But Richards is able to convert that first down and make it 1st and 10 here for the Bulldogs.
Don't be surprised if they try that play and we sneak in there and knock that pitch down. That was a kind of a sideways lateral, almost a pass.
All right, Newman back under center again, splitting that even formation. Looks like a little GT counter there, GF counter. Mitchell's able to squeak back through. Looks like number 23, Caleb Basic on the tackle. Looks like Jack Trudel, number 33, also in that. Both those from their linebacker positions, but not before Mitchell's able to get a gain of 7. We'll call it 2nd and 3 here for the Bulldogs.
And you got that right. That was a little nice GT, little counter action. That's a nice play. I haven't seen that out of them yet.
Looked like a little zone, but Mitchell's able to fall forward for another 5-yard gain. And this second first down here for Richards of the drive. Looks like they found something here, Coach E, in the running game they're going to choose to exploit coming out of halftime. We'll see how Coach Budge and the Wildcat defense here adjusts.
Either that or we're like, if you're going to do that for 99 yards to make it 21-7, God bless you, they need to score quick. Something like that.
Newman go back, deep backs back. Great coverage there by the Cats DB. Let's see if we can get a number on that. Looked like number 12, Tommy Bunick on the coverage. Great job being straight for side, turning his head back around, looking for the football. Good fundamentals there. I know Coach Schrader will like to see that tomorrow morning when the tape gets turned on.
Yeah, we expected them to do that, but you're right. It almost would have made sense for them to try to run and get it short for 2nd down. Like, they've had great success, but now they got to do it in 2 plays.
Cats defense buckled down here. There's Mitchell again, squeaks back through, but not before a 11-yard gain. Cats safeties Mason Schrader and Hayden Kuntz coming on up to make the tackle. And Coach E, as good ball players as Mason and Hayden are, and there are 2 great safeties back there. You don't want your safeties making all those tackles on those run plays.
Right. I think Schrader had, I think you said 8 tackles.
There's another GT counter. Nice job there by number 50, but Mitchell's able to squeak on through. Looked like Owen McGrory had a chance at him back there at the backfield. We have a little break in the action here for a down Bulldog. So, Coach E, while there's a break on the field, let's talk about the 2 coaches that are going in to the LHS Athletics Hall of Fame.
All right, it's cross-country year because we have the girls coach, Harry Carlson, who had like a 25-year head coaching career, came back with several state trophies, a lot of regional titles, a lot of conference titles. Also did some work in the girls track program as well. Head coach for, I believe, 11. I don't think they won too many conferences, won a couple, but it was in cross country where they were unbeatable. And then Bill Dortch, he was also a head cross country coach for like 27 years, and he came back with a state trophy and several trips down to the state tournament as well.
All right, so the Cats are taken back on the field. Number 73, Jake Richter. Number 64, Rhett Van Boeing. Number 15, Owen McGrory on the D-line there for the Cats. And here we go. There's that GF counter back again. Mitchell's able to break through from that arm tackle, and he's got some room. He's hawked down there by number 23, Caleb Basic. Mason Marabella also had the angle on him there, but Richards is rolling here. Coach Eggert, looks like Richards definitely went back in at halftime, found something here to be able to take advantage of in that run game. It's going to be up to the Cats here to kind of hunker down and get him back out of it. You know, Richards is at their best when they're running the football. I don't think Richards has the passing attack to keep up here with the Cats. It'll be important here for the Cats to kind of get dialed in as Richards starts to approach into the red zone. And that will help right there. What a great play. Number 34, Charlie Clark shooting in. There's a bunch of Wildcats back there in the backfield. Nice job by the defense to get Richards now into a 2nd and 14.
So what I think's happened is they said they had a little problem with Lamont on over-penetration on the defensive line, and I think that's what's happening because when they're running all these counter plays, somebody's over-penetrating and getting a real easy kick out, and then the back's good. Back's doing a nice job getting in the 2nd level. But I think at the point of attack, I think we were over-penetrating. So that time we sent 2 linebackers, and there was just no gap to run.
Now it's interesting here. Number 5, Mitchell split out wide here into the bottom of the slot. Be interested to see if Newman's able to get him the ball. And he's going to take off, and he's got room, and he's going to go. So as he spins off, he turns on the burners. Nice tackle there by number 2, Mason Strader, but not before what looks like it's going to be a little short. They were able to get back about 13, 14 yards there on it to make it into, let's call it 3rd and a long 1 here for Richards. Now, Coach, like we were talking about on that counter play, that first part of that from that first puller is a kick out. So like you're saying with that trap, that penetration lends itself well, makes that an easy block. There's that counter play again. Nice job by the Cats defense. That's number 23, Caleb Basic. That's that wrestling background coming in, Coachy, right there, because that looked like a nice little double leg takedown.
Yeah, and somebody is, watching that the pull guy take off. He's following him. He's just following him right and taking him right to the play. Because there's got to be a little gap between the running back and the pull guy. Well, we're filling right in on that.
All right, so good play there from the Cats defense, and they'll force 4th and 3 here for Richards. Let's see if the Bulldogs are able to capitalize on some of the momentum they've got here. If the Cats defense can hold strong, get them back off the field. Cats line back up here in that 3-4 defense. Here comes the pressure. Handoff right up the middle. Richards running back. That's number 24, Ladarius Foster. He's able to fall forward there for a 1st down.
Yeah, they have not really cracked off too many long runs, but this is a really nice drive. Started on the 1-foot line.
That's hard to believe,
Yeah.
And I don't think, Coach E, minus a few deep shots, the ball has been up in the air that much here for Richards. And there it is, back off the counter. They pull it, get that pass option onto that run play, hit that inside slant to number 1, Sean Reynolds. We haven't called his name here in a while. That was, that we talked at the beginning of the broadcast about that Newman-Reynolds connection being a lot of that offense for Richards in the Morgan Park game. There we get to see it on display to bring it 2nd and we'll call it 2 for the Bulldogs.
I'm pretty sure that is their first reception of the drive. They've done it all on the ground.
All right, so here we go for Richards. Single back, number 24. That's a direct snap. That is number 5, Miles Mitchell at quarterback. He'll pick up the 1st down. Interested to see if they bring that jet sweep action back off this, Coach E. That's what they showed there in the 2nd quarter when Mitchell was back at quarterback. Wouldn't be surprised if they got a little misdirection going down here to try to help things out. I would be really surprised if they put the ball back in the air. Well, huge shout out to LHS Athletic Director John Woods for the waters up here in the booth. Mitchell takes that off tackle, and he is able to walk into the end zone there for the touchdown from the Richards Bulldogs to make it 21-6. Hats off to Richards. That's a good drive there to start the half. I know the defense will have a great chance here to adapt just like they did in the Lamont game and can really focus back in.
Yeah, that was just a quarterback power, and it's hard for me to believe that they would have overpowered us, but I think they're wearing us down.
All right, so here we go. Richards in their own kind of little version of muddle huddle swinging gate, and they'll shift back in here kick. You know, Lamont does something similar, Coach Eggert, down in that, and they're in the same conference, so not surprised to maybe see some of the kind of the same things from conference foes.
I tip my hat to anyone that can pull off a 99-yard drive.
That is, like we talked about, mentioned a couple times before, the opponent gets a vote 2. And Richards capitalized and made the most of theirs right there to make it 21-7 with 2:39. You know, the other thing too, Coach E, that we haven't really talked about is that long drive with all the runs. Clock was churning the whole time. Kept the Cats' offense out the field, kind of shortened the game here a little bit so the Cats don't have a chance with that quick, straight, explosive offense to be able to get back on and start getting the points piled up. So that drive was 16 plays, consisting of 13 runs, 3 passes, 99 yards in 5 minutes, 21 seconds. pretty impressive drive there for the
You
Bulldogs.
would think with that much running it would be more than 5:21, but they did have several incomplete passes and a couple out of bounds. That's the only way to explain that. But I was going to say, you know, you were saying it kept the Wildcats offense off the field, but it also kept the Richards offense off the field in the sense that you need 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And they ate up a lot of their time.
Yeah, like you said, Coach E, if that's what they're going to continue to do, try to get back into this one with the lead that they're chasing, it's going to be a tall task. Not saying it can't be done, but it is going to be something where Richard's going to have to play some pretty quality ball here from the way on out.
Well, all we'll have to do really is score one more time, and they're not going to be able to run for 3. They won't have enough time to run for 3 touchdowns.
All right, Richards here with the pooch kick back on the inside, and that ball's back on the ground.
They got it.
Let's see. It looks like Richards got it, and they do.
I think our second level did not think that they should catch that because I thought there were some guys that could have closed on it, and by the time it hits the ground, who knows where that thing's going to go.
All right, Coach E. So now that was a recovery there by number 21, Khalil Lavelle. And now this is, you know what, I'm excited for this opportunity for Coach Budge and the defense to get back out here and be ready to buckle down. Because I know we talked about it, it's in the keys of the game for both sides of the ball for the Cats, something that they definitely work on. This is a great opportunity here for the Cats to be able to demonstrate a little bit of grit, which is one of our program core values here in the LHS Athletic Department.
Yeah, the only problem is that Coach Budge didn't get a chance to put him in on the bench and talk about what went wrong in that first drive. So we'll see if they can do it on the fly.
All right, we'll see if Richards goes back to that counter play here. And
there
it is. And they're going to pull it back off. Newman's trying to scramble out. He's able to sneak back through, but he cannot evade number 23, Caleb Basic. Or I'm sorry, that was number 56. That's Chris Samaras. Looked like Caleb there. Great shot of the moon that we've got out from our Wildcats production crew. But I do not know how Newman got through that. There was a host of Wildcats back there in the backfield. The Cats are really starting to heat up the backside of that GF kind of counter.
I think they go. If your guy goes, you just got to follow him. He's going to take you to play. There it is.
There it is again.
And that was Charlie Clark.
Charlie Clark sniffing it right back out.
He snuck right in there behind a pole. If we can get a replay on that, we will see how you defend that GT. And someone's obviously not blocking down well enough.
Yep.
And Charlie comes in quick. But someone's responsible for closing the hole. I do know if you pull 2 guys, it's a bigger hole.
Coach Ian, that's one of those things, too, that in the run game, when people blitz, you love that in the run game because if you can get it picked up correctly, there are big holes, which we've seen Richards exploit some of those. But when you don't, that's the result that you get. So there we go. It's 3rd and long here, and it looks like the Cats were a little quick back on the whistle.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You know, that's a couple times here for tonight's. The Cats have kind of helped Richards out, giving him a little extra yardage when they don't necessarily need to. Like you said, Coach E, with Richards chasing a couple scores here in 1:27 left in the 3rd quarter, I would not be surprised if they were in 4-down territory for them at this point.
They absolutely are. If we score again from whatever amount, there's no way we catch them.
Here we go. Big back, deep pass, big pressure. It looked like Mitchell was able to reach for it.
It's close.
But Newman definitely had a host of Wildcats in his face. Can't tell because it looked like 3 or 4 black jerseys in there. That was a heck of a job sticking in there and making that completion there for the Bulldogs.
1st down. Talk about making it by not much.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Bulldogs as they get right on the outside of the Cats' 20-yard line. Richards slowing it back down here a little bit. Clock still continues to tick under a minute here. It is an absolutely gorgeous night here at the Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. As we get ready here for the final plays of the half, looks like Richards will take a timeout.
Offense.
To get things sorted out.
They wasted way too much time figuring out that play. I think they lost a good 30 seconds. They call a timeout right away. They save some time. And you know, when you're down 2 scores with a quarter to go, you got to play quick.
All right, Coach E, well, we have a quick little break. We've got one more inductee. This one's kind of a little more near and dear to my heart because these are some guys I grew up playing some football with. It's the class of 2004 football team. Yeah,
we always try to get one team in there. Again, it's voting by the committee, but I think everyone goes, okay, we're all going to vote for a team. And it's pretty obvious what team you're going to vote for because this is we've already had the 1991 girls soccer team that won the state title. We've already had the 2001 girls soccer team that took the state title. Well, we only have one other eligible state champion. That's a 2004 fall football team. We do have a gymnastics team that won the title in 2019, the boys, except for they're not eligible yet. It's got to be 10 years.
And that same with the 15 boys soccer team as well, too.
Right. They got
Ball start.
wait 10
Offense.
years for that.
5-yard penalty. First down.
So you have a team, the fall 2004 group that went undefeated. They did have a scare in their opening playoff game. They had no scares during the regular season. They just kind of rolled. But Mudline game a good game. We beat them. We're down 9-7 with about 4 minutes left to go. Fourth down, 4th and 4. I remember that. We had a bootleg. Lancaster got it. The guy came up to Lancaster, and Lancaster dumped off a short pass. Guy was all by himself. He had to pick somebody.
There you go. They set up the screen there for Richards. A little double screen there with Mitchell flying out to the field to the left. Coming back underneath number 1, Sean Reynolds. Not able to connect, though. There's a good shot there. Number 14, Luca DiCarlo from his cornerback position. And that will make it 2nd and 15 here for the Bulldogs.
So after Mudline, then you've got, you take Glenbrook North, and you take Rolling Meadows, and then Prospect, the defending state champs, get those guys in the semis, hammer them, and get in the state tournament. Got a tough Cary Grove team and beat them 13-3 in a real defensive struggle.
Newman drops back to pass, has nowhere to go, and he is met by that Wildcats rush.
So all these receivers are holding their helmets like they're open, but they were not open. That was great coverage.
Good job there by the Cats rush, keeping their contained lanes, keeping Newman in the pocket. Looked like number 24, Eric Waldorf, 53 Antonio Vaughn in on that play, along with a couple other Wildcats. Coach, I remember as a class 2003 grad myself, played in class 2004 grad, playing on the 2003 team that lost in the state championship game. Checking back the next year, watching that Cat TV production way back when, back on the computer down at Butler University of the playoff run when those home broadcasts, and then going to see the game over Thanksgiving weekend was an awesome time. Great for the community, great for the football program to get that state championship in 2004.
Yeah, and your group did pretty well yourself, going all the way to the state championship game, losing in overtime. So we at Libertyville football at that time was really churning.
Yep, nope, still got a lot of great friendships from that. That's one of the great things about high school athletics. I got a couple of those 03 guys, Tom Pierce, Jake Follett, tuning in tonight, giving me a hard time about the call here. Checked my phone at halftime. I had some critiques of my broadcasting, all in good fun.
Let's hear about some of these critiques.
So, that's one, Tony Romo, great announcer. One of my favorite, I would say, from watching from NFL games. Tony's got a great chance of predicting plays, so I think those guys are wanting me to give a little bit more here, trying to see if we can guess about what's coming up from both offenses.
Well, why don't you tell those two guys to relax and wait for about 10 seconds, and they'll get to see what the play is.
I don't think I have to, because you just did for me, so that's awesome. So I'm sure I'm going to start hearing the buzz on the phone over here as we get on some tape delay here to start the fourth quarter. But here we go now. This is a big third down, 3rd and 15 for Richards, or let's call it 3rd and 17, actually. Mitchell set up right, and the backup quarterback, Escobedo, is back in. Mitchell's back out on the edge, and he's not going to be able to get out. It looked like they might have had something set up there. Cats do a nice job of fighting off the block. There's number 8, Boyd Hunt, out there. Number 1, Mason Marabella. Number 5, Hayden Kuntz. We'll take it back here to the replay.
Boy, they did not have any deception. They told you exactly who they're going to, and we had plenty of Cats over there.
Nice job there by Boyd and Mason to be able to rally to the football and get the ball carrier down here, force a 4th and long. So here we go. Looks like Newman is back in at quarterback for the 4th and 14.
He had to take a play off because his helmet came off.
That's right. That's a good call there, Coach Eggert. Oh, and the ball's on the ground. Great job by the Cats defense.
And Eric Waldorf in on the blitz along with Owen McGrory from his defensive line spot.
It looks like there's some extracurriculars jumping in again. This is time to keep that composure here. Both sides of the ball. Kind of a interesting play here at the start. It doesn't look like anybody was quite sure, but the Cats played it out through the end of the play here. We'll let the officials kind of sort things out here in a second. But Coach E, I know coming up here this fall, you've got a big class reunion yourself as an LHS grad.
We have to wait a year.
Oh, one more year, yep.
The fall of 2024, we're going 50 years.
There you go.
The final countdown. This is it.
There you go.
You come back for the 50, or you'll forever hold your peace.
That means you guys will be at the 50 and we'll be at the 20 in our year.
That's right.
That one. So
That's
there
right.
you go. All right, we're going to hear from
Dead
the
ball,
officials.
2 fouls. Unnecessary roughness, Libertyville. Unnecessary roughness, Richards. Those penalties offset. First down, Libertyville.
Okay.
All right.
The fact that it was offsetting does not make a coach any happier.
No.
There'll be some discussion on that one.
For sure, for sure. No, especially, too, we talked a little bit about those keys to the game there on both sides of the ball for the Cats offense and Cats defense. But here we go. The Cats offense is going to take the field with 11-11 up on the clock. Don't get to see that one too much when it's up on the scoreboard here at the Walter R. Johnson Sports Complex. And here we go. So La Vista and Nikolic split out wide to the bottom of the field. Looks like Stephen Gavrick up to the top. Josh Holtz in at the tight end position. DB to Marion Baker in the backfield. And handoff there to DB. He's able to squirt back through, get upfield, and pick up a good 4 or 5 yard gain here to get the Cats drive started. You know, Coach E, that was a nice job there on the offensive line. They kind of made that kind of similar to what we mentioned earlier about in pass protection, kind of that umbrella view of the offensive line with width on the outside, getting penetration there on the inside. There's a nice view of that there, those big mules up front, to allow DB that chance to crease that upfield, creating that kind of distortion within the defense.
Yeah, and I'll bet it was our right tackle, and I'm looking at our left tackle. I'm looking at Miles Pateski. He drove his guy a good 5 yards, maybe more.
All right, so here we go for the Cats. 3 skill up to the top of the screen. Shambo back to pass, puts it back into La Vista. Be interesting to see. That don't know if that was quite back in with the catch, but they are going to call him back down on the recovery there for the Cats. That's number 9, Josh Holtz, jumping back onto the ball. That was kind of that bang bang. If we were in the NFL right now, we'd be probably going back to a replay, check that one out, because that one happened so fast.
I got to believe, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That
That didn't quite look like there was enough for a catch.
He got hit right away.
So they will keep it, though, at 3rd down here for the Cats. That's a smart play, though, by Josh Holtz of jumping back on that ball, seeing the ball on the turf, and just playing that back out through the whistle, especially on a little quick screen like that where you're not quite sure that's going to get ruled a lateral or not.
And they were looking one way, then went back the other into the short side of the field.
Would
so
not
there's a
be
lot of
surprised
people
to see
over
La
there.
Vista taking it vertical back here.
He is.
And there he goes. Looks like they were giving him a little room back to the top of the screen. And there he is. Nice job by Quinn finding Blaze downfield. Big play there for the Cats in that quick straight offense. Cats are hustling up to the line here to get moving.
He came all the way from the far side of the field, just kept running, and Shambo did a nice job extending the play. There'll be a lot more of that this year.
Yeah. Seemed might be a breakdown for Richards of letting Blaze have all that space after the damage he's done tonight.
It did seem like 2 guys are chasing him, but they're chasing him. They're not really on him.
All right, here we go. Cats up to the ball quick. Take advantage of the momentum here. Shambo handoff to DB. DB knifes through, gets a crease. Able to get back down. Nice 7, 8 yard gain there for Demarion Baker for the Wildcats.
He's got to get him to second level. He's got some quickness and some moves. Not a big guy. I mean, he's coming down when they hit him, but give him the second level and you'll have a hard time catching him.
You know, Coach E, one thing that's been impressive about the Cats' running game tonight is the running backs, ball carriers in general, have done a nice job of getting vertical. Last week, they had a tendency to kind of bounce things out on the Lamont defense. Tonight, they're doing a good job of reading their keys, getting downhill, picking up those 4 or 5 yard gains, not trying to make hit everyone into that big play home run ball. So there's that handoff to DB. Now he jumps it back outside, gets a nice cut back underneath, spins forward to get it inside the 5 yard line, and it looks like it's going to be just a little short, maybe enough for a first down here. If not, pretty darn close. So here we go on the replay.
He bounced it outside. I thought he was going to have some room, but number 2 turned him in to the help. Contained. Anyone can be a contained.
And there we go. There's a first down there for the Cats on the quick play there, getting up under center for the sneak. All right, so the Cats get a fresh set of downs here inside the 10 as they move the sticks and get looking ready to finish this drive here with some points and really putting Richards kind of behind the 8 ball at this point in the game, Coach E.
Just can't score that quick on us. Our defense is playing so well. You know, and I think part of why they had such a nice drive too is I don't think we minded giving up a few yards, keeping the clock going, not letting them score quick.
All right, there we go. Handed back off DB.
I think we're trying to give Baker a touchdown because he's had about 4 carries in a row. Something just dropped. What was that?
Yeah, no, heard kind of a loud boom here. Press box kind of got everybody startled here for a little bit. But it'll bring down 2nd and goal here for the Cats. Libertyville looks content to take their time here a little bit. Wear down a little bit of the clock.
Yeah, you got
shorten the game up.
15 seconds left. Take it all. 15 seconds left on the play clock, I should say. I think they want Baker to have a touchdown.
All right,
no,
here we go.
Maybe not.
Shambo back to pass as the
Nice.
inside slant there to Gavrick. And that is a touchdown there for the Wildcats. Nice pitch and catch there between Shambo and Gavrick. Good protection there from the Mules up front. And that results in 6 points up on the board for the Cats.
If you're double covering La Vista, what are you going to do? Everyone else got to be single covered, and it was just a nice little slant. Shambo, he just relaxes right when he needs to relax. Finds his guy.
All right, here we go. Ben Ratner on for the kick for the Cats.
We had the last one blocked, so we better figure out where they're coming from.
Check here. It looks like Richards got a little bit of a head start on that one. We'll see what the officials have to say from there. Looks like they might have to take the flags back here a second. Might have another run at it.
Encroachment. Deep. The goal. Untimed down.
Yeah, it gets tempting to try to go for it, but with the score being what it was, just kick it and take your point. Yeah, you definitely don't need 2 at this point.
Nope. Definitely do not. And we know we've got a guy with the leg to be able to boom one up through the uprights. So here we go. Trudel on the snap, Gavrick on the hold, Ratner on the kick. Snaps down, and the kick is blocked. Had a little penetration back in again. That's an, yep, can't do that in high school football. Pick that up. Go. Looks like Coach Colwell is making his way over here to give us some stats on that Cats drive. That one was 8 plays, 68 yards, and 3 minutes, 40 seconds. A little bit different from that long clock-burning drive, Coach E, that Richards had there to get their 7 points back up on the board. Now it's Richards going to be chasing 3 with 7:31 left here. They're going to need a big play or 2 to get back into this game.
And they'll need to speed it up quicker than what they're doing. I'm sure right at this point they know. I mean, coaches know, but they want to score anyway. But you have to play like you got a chance for 3 scores. So you got to go quick.
All right, so the Cats kickoff team is coming back on the field here. Let's see if we can get some numbers here on the kickoff team.
Number 20, Tyler Wilson. 28, Will Carney. I'm seeing them.
We've also got number 52, Everett Kendall, out there as well. Number 32, Antonio Kelly. I thought I saw jogging out there with the team. Looks like we've also got you already got number 28, Will Carney on there.
And a whole host of defensive players. 29, Brady Rowe. Jack Trular's out there. Tom Bunick.
All right, Ratner sends this one deep. Here we go. This looks like Sean Reynolds on the return here for Richards. Reynolds has a little bit of a crease, but he's met there by a few Wildcats, about the 32. That looked like that was number 32, Antonio Kelly, in on the tackle. Here's your replay here.
A wrestler, I'm going to have to pat him on the back.
There you go. Nice job in on the special teams tackle. Good job on the contain there for the Cats on the kick return. We've had a couple been able to spill outside here tonight. Nice to see the Cats staying in their lanes. I know that'll make Coach Schrader happy in that special teams meeting when coming out of the weekend.
All right, so the clock is stopped right now, but from the time it snapped, let's watch and see how quickly these guys go.
Here we go. Richards staying in with that GF counter. They're picking up 5 or 6 yards. Well, and while they might get those 5 and 6 yards, Coach E, I think the Cats will be happy that the clock is running.
They will be happy. There is a little more speed up this time.
Newman at quarterback here for the Bulldogs. Going back to that GF counter back in, and they are met by a host of Wildcats. A lot of black jerseys in on that one. Looks like number 60, Kyle Burns, is in on the tackle.
Shane Murphy.
Number 63, Shane Murphy, back in on the tackle too. Brings a 3rd and short here for the Bulldogs.
We are blitzing a lot of people. And we're getting it right in their,
Yep.
I think that's their answer to that counter play, GT counter, is to just put a lot of people in the box, fill up the running lanes.
And Coach E, that's where, like you said before, like somebody's got to block back at some point.
Yep.
There's got to be, everybody's got a gap. You got to be accountable for those gaps. And when you bring the pressure on it, it's hard. It doesn't matter what level of football it is. And Cats are making it difficult on the running game of the Bulldogs. Richards better be careful here. The Cats get the ball back here. This could be a one-play strike time. It looks like they're able to say, I'm going to say just got it. That's number 24, Ladarius Foster on the carry. It says here on the roster, Coach, Foster is a freshman playing up here on the varsity level. So
although,
might see his name again when we travel down to Richards next year, week 2.
Blaze LaVista did a nice job as a freshman last year on the varsity, which, we probably haven't said this yet, but there are 4 sophomores on our varsity. LaVista being one, a returning letterman. Then you also got Miles Pateski at left offensive tackle, and you got 2 linebackers rotating in, Jack Trudelaar and Eric Waldorf. That's quite a class they had.
That is, and there it is.
Uh-oh.
Back to pass, and that is complete, and that is going to be a Bulldog touchdown. That's Newman back to number 11, Riley Lamphere. It does not look like there's any flags on the play. And that's that quick strike, Coach E, that we were talking about that the Bulldogs were going to need if they wanted to get back into this game.
And they haven't had many of those.
All right, so Richards lining up in their own version here of the swinging gate.
I don't know anybody that kicks out of that formation.
I don't either. And you know what, Coach E, I'll be honest with you, I don't know very many people that do a lot out of that formation.
Yeah.
Besides just line up in it just to see if they can get some type of numbers advantage, and the Bulldog kick is up and good. So with 5 minutes, 31 seconds left in the 4th quarter, the score now is 27-14 Richards. Coach E, I've been impressed with this Bulldogs team. They really haven't, they've shown a lot of fight throughout the entire game. Really have had, haven't really gotten that momentum going here. The second half, it feels like they've gotten a little bit more, and they just keep plugging away, and they've kept in this game and are really kind of keeping the pressure on the Cats.
I think, the odds of Libertyville losing at this point very slim, but Richards is going to walk out of here feeling a lot better about this than what they did at the end of the first half. They've shown themselves proud.
And that's where, Coach Anthony Sheehan was quoted in the paper coming out of that game last week against Morgan Park by being a young team. Kind of took some licks last week, but he really was quoted as saying really that he has a really good group and was really excited for the things that they have coming forward, and they've definitely shown that tonight. So here on that Bulldogs drive, it was 5 plays, 4 runs, 1 pass. That 1 pass was that 43-yard touchdown pass. They covered 67 yards in 1 minute, 49 seconds. And you can say that's exactly what Richards needed to do at this point of the game.
For a real proud program, as Richards is, with all the success that they've had, I'm not surprised that they are going to keep plugging, although it is pretty tough to start the season 0-2. At Libertyville, I think, can think of 2 occasions they started 0-3 and still wound up sneaking in with a 5-4 record into the playoffs, but it is not easy. You are holding your breath each week. Speaking of Richards' proud tradition, they have an overall program record of 432 and 179. That's impressive. But their playoff record, 69 and 37, versus our playoff record, 31 and 26. So, if you're just a little over 500, you're doing okay.
Right.
They're way over 500. And then we had talked about Coach Corhonen earlier in the year. He is 6th in the all-time Illinois High School Association wins list.
All right, there's number
catch that. There you go.
Luis Perez. Nice fair catch there by Mason Schrader. Cats had everybody lined up in that hands team formation.
And I'm sure they were told in no uncertain terms, fair catch that thing, because it was the same thing you did last time, just kind of laid it up in the air, and no one wanted a piece of that thing.
Yep. All right, so the Cats offense is getting ready to take the field back here with 5 minutes, 31 seconds left. That untimed down didn't change the clock from the last time that we gave it to you here. And here we go. The Cats offense will come out and take the field. Looks like number 10, Zach Henderson. Number 18, Ben Ratner, split out wide here to the bottom. Number 37, Cole Mitchell, split out to the top of the field.
So we're getting some people in, but we still got the queue in.
All right, Shambo back under center. Hands off here to DB. DB gets sped out. Nice block there by Ratner out on the edge. And DB breaks the tackle, and he turns on the speed. And he is up the sideline. Big gain there for the Cats. Nice blocking on the outside by number 18, Ben Ratner, number 10, Zach Henderson. Good runs become great runs when wide receivers block. I know that's a Coach O'Neillism. He'd be proud of that we got in the broadcast tonight, as I'm getting a nice little grin from Mr. Woods, a former receiver himself.
That's the first time we have got Baker to turn upfield, and you get a chance to see how fast he really is. Now, he's quick, but he hasn't really broke loose. He gets free, and he is gone.
All right, Cats area back up to line 3, skill into the boundary here at the bottom of your screen. Cole Mitchell, the lone receiver, up to the top. Shambo on the handoff here to Baker. Baker spins it back outside, not able to slip away that time. Richards staying at home a little bit more on the edge there. DB is able to power forward, though, for a couple yards.
I'm wondering at what point in time Richards is going to start using their timeouts, because if we're going to run, get some yards, they're not getting the ball back anytime with much time on the clock.
If I had to guess, Coach E, I would say here if Richards is able to get a successful defensive play here on second down, we might see one coming on third down.
Yeah, because we are draining. They're using that 40-second clock, run it way down. Now, it used to be a 25-second clock, but now they got it 40 from the time they spot the ball. You can kill a lot of time off between running plays.
All right, Shambo back under center, takes a snap. Handoff in there to DB. DB sneaks through, breaks a rack through, breaks through the arm tackle, and he's gone up the sideline. Has one man to beat. And what a nice run there by DB. Nice job by the Mules up front. We're getting to the point of the game where the whole place knows we're going to run the ball. Those big guys up front did a nice job opening up the hole there for Baker.
Man, I do think Richards is getting a little down on himself on that, because they are not playing the defense that they were early in the half.
That was a nice job there on the left side line by number 72, Miles Bateski, number 50, Owen McGrory. Good job there by all the Mules up front. 73, Jake Richter, 64, Rhett Van Boning. Cats are back in business here inside the 10-yard line, looking to tack one more on and really put this one out of reach.
Coach, you only named 4 linemen.
Oh, I'm sorry. That
Andrew
was
Johnson.
Andrew Johnson, number 59. Handoff there to DB, not able to sneak back out to the outside. He'll take it down there into the 5 and bring on second down.
I'm trying to figure out what his point of attack is once he gets a ball, but he's always bouncing it outside. I'm wondering if that's by design or if that's just what he's seeing.
I know that's one of those, Coach E, on that style of play where he's got his visual keys that he's reading. Based on what that key does, that tells him whether he's keeping that downhill or taking that back to the outside, and on what the big guys up front are able to help get displaced for him.
Well, I think what's happening is the tackle is able to turn this guy in. And there is still an outside linebacker out there, but they're thinking one-on-one Baker versus that guy.
All right, so here we go. Down low on the shot on the clock. Baker's able to squeak back in. It looks like he's down to the 2, maybe the 3. There's Caleb Basic from his fullback position coming in there to help aid on.
If they really want a touchdown right now, they could probably get it, but I think they're really comfortable with having him pinned back and keeping the clock running.
Yeah, I think at this point, Coach, like you were talking about earlier, just keeping that clock running is definitely the number 1 priority here for the Cats, keeping the ball on the ground, keeping it moving, shorten the game, and getting this one wrapped up.
We are down under 3 minutes, and if we, for whatever reason, I think we kick a field goal, but for whatever reason we don't get in, I think we're okay with that. We're running this play, and
here goes Shambo back to pass.
Unless we think we can get a quick touchdown.
And there it is right there. Number 9, Josh Holtz sneaks out in from his tight end position there. Good pitch and catch.
Let's see why he was. Nobody put their hands on Holtz, I'll bet they're going to say.
So there is. We can see him right there at the top of the screen, Coach Eggert.
Yeah, they let him go right by.
All hands right in, turns around. And there you go.
They're going to say in films on Saturday, they're going to say, you have one job, or your first job, put your hands on a tight end. Don't give him a free release.
You know, and that easy pitch and catch is set up there by the run game as well. The success of the Cats' run game on that drive, led by those big mules up front, and Damari and Baker, real key.
Okay, we've had the last 2 kicks have been blocked. So let's see if we solve that. Man, they're coming in.
Close.
Good snap, hold, and kick. That's what does the trick.
All right, so with 2:24 left in the game, it makes the score that Shambo to host touchdown pass makes the score 34-14 Wildcats. With 2:24 left here in the fourth quarter. So, Coach E, as we get ready for North Suburban Conference play, what stood out to you about the Cats tonight? The difference between Week 1 and Week 2?
Well, the fact we kept scoring, we scored pretty easy. I mean, I think Richards doing a nice job making some tackles, but they're struggling with their pass defense. And I don't think it is not from lack of effort, because they are putting people in place, and our athletes are making the plays anyway. Shambo is just absolutely lighting it up with his throws. Yeah, I don't know. I think without us not scoring in the second half after looking really good, I mean, I think our first half last week was like this, where they just could not guard the receivers. Then the second half, things slowed down a little bit. We're putting the whole game together now.
All right, that looks like it's number 25, Kyle Anderson, there on the kick. Mitchell picks it back up. He's able to sneak back through, has a little bit of crease, spins out of something, makes a hurdle over a tackle. He's still up and running. And that's number 32 for the Cats, Antonio Kelly again, coming in for that special teams tackle. Looked like he joined by number 29, Brady Rowe. As well.
We were not over-penetrating. Maybe not been as aggressive as we could have been. By the way, it was a block in the back over there. But just keep putting hits on a guy, and even though he broke some tackles, he's going to run out of steam.
All right, so the Cats defense comes back out onto the field. We'll see if we can get some numbers here for you. Looks like secondary-wise, that's number 40. Teddy DeCrow is here at the bottom of the screen. Number 32, Antonio Kelly at a safety position. He's joined up there by Hayden Kuntz. At the linebacker positions, looks like number 51, Win Wiskowski, is in an outside linebacker spot. A nice job there by the Cats defense.
All right, we beat up the line of scrimmage on that one. Everyone was in there.
Number 53, Antonio Vaughn. Number 52, Everett Kendall. Let's see if we can get some more numbers here for the Cats around the field. That's number 81, Joey Chulo, out there on defense.
Tyler Wilson, number 20, is another, looks like he's a safety.
All right, so here the Cats go. They'll line up. Richard splits 2 to the field, to the boundary. Back to pass, throws that hitch back to the field. Cats rally back here to the football. Nice job of running to pursuit from the Wildcat defense to get the ball carried back down with 1 minute, 20 seconds and counting.
Yeah, short pass, and didn't hit him right away, but kept swarming, and we're going to make the tackle eventually.
And that's one of the things, too, that you really look at defensively is that hustle, that pursuit to the football. Something the Cats have done really well tonight. Always running, always hustling. Know the coaching staff will enjoy seeing that on the film coming out of this game. Escobedo back to pass again, and he's not going to have a chance to get there. Let's see if we can get this sack. That's number 80, Logan Shashevsky.
That's a second tackle for loss.
That is. That big one came in that fourth down play, too.
Yeah.
Shot through that gap. Really big turning point there in the game.
Must have some quickness coming off the ball.
All right, so the clock continues to run there on the sack. There's 30 seconds and counting. Looks like there's going to be one more play that needs to be run here on 4th and 9. All right, so Escobedo rolls back out. Looks like he's got a guy there on the out route, which he does. He gets run out of bounds. And Richards there is able to convert there in the 4th down. Nice play there by Richards on that sprint out going to the left. That's always challenging for a right-handed quarterback, Coach Eggert, when that roll to the left. Did a nice job of squaring up there and getting that ball delivered.
That was that same route that they had way back in the first quarter on their first pass that I said, we got to figure out how to cover that thing. The quarterback overthrew it. This time he put it right there, going across his body that time.
All right, Escobedo back to pass, flushed out of the pocket by the Cats rush, and that looks like number 53, Antonio Vaughn, was able to get him down, and that is going to be the ball game.
He's quick because he came a long way to make that tackle. He's a nose guard.
So the Cats are going to start the season out 2-0 tonight. with a 34-14 victory tonight over the Richards Bulldogs. Quinn Shambo to Blaze LaVista, Steven Gavrick, Luka Nikolic, Sam Seth, the host of receivers, and finished off there at the end with some strong running by the Mules up front. Nice performance by Coach Budge's defense. And what more to say, Coachy? It's North Suburban Conference playtime.
It'll be interesting. Warren coming in 0-2, us going 2-0, but we know Warren's Warren. It'll be a great game.
Yep, and it'll be the first time, too, this year that the Cats head on the road. They'll play up at Gurnee this upcoming Friday night. So as the Cats get ready to kick off North Suburban play, we will leave you with a shot of the teams here on the field. This is Chris Davis for Dale Eggert, signing off, wishing you a restful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you back on the next broadcast on Thursday, September 14th, when the Cats are back at LHS hosting Lake Forest.